Hi, Mark here from the Tangent-Bound Podcast Network and host of the flagship show, the Tangent-Bound Podcast. Did you know that we over at Tangent-Bound are always looking for amazing podcasts to promote? And did you also know that we are also proud nerds and geeks of everything from movies, music, gaming, TV shows, and comic books to wrestling, MMA, soccer, and football? Whatever you can nerd or geek out about, we've got it. And if you're interested, we can help you find it. And if you're a show looking for a place to call home, we've got you covered. Side effects may include upset stomach, dizziness, tumors, shakes, and in some rare cases, death from excessive laughter. Though to be fair, it's only sometimes. Other side effects may include diarrhea, gallstones, heart palpitations, and strong desire for cookies on the dark side. Talk to your doctor and visit TangentBoundNetwork.com and see if Tangent-Bound Network is right for you.
Hello, and welcome to the Moving the Needle podcast, where we ask, what moves you? Excellent or bogus? Did anyone do the right thing? Do you mess with the Zohan? With me tonight to discuss Do the Right Thing, Rocky vs. Creed, childhood, guilty pleasures, a test of time, you don't mess with the Zohan, once upon a time in Hollywood. With me tonight is Stephanie.
Hello.
Roy. Hello. And Henno. Yo, we want to thank you for listening on iTunes. We're also available on Spotify, just about everywhere you can find podcasts. We are, so come on now,
Google
let
Play.
us know. Email us at mtnpodcast@gmail.com or on facebook.com/mtnpod. Twitter and tweet us at mtnpod. There's so many ways to find us.
Welcome to the podcast from Temperance Town, the sexiest podcast of world renowned. Tony grows a beard to hide his chin, swaps it with Earl so it glistens. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Download the pod, you won't get enough of these dapper chaps talking deadly fluff. In Hobo Gulch they run a homeless mission, clanging and banging with the pentagram of kittens. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. They enjoy their whiskey and local craft beer. By Odin's unkempt pubis we give a cheer. Tony's a raccoon when he's booziest. Don't be a savage, be an enthusiast. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. On the frozen tundra they call it a lock. Tony likes to masturbate in a sock. Brian pisses rocks cause it feels so great. I still don't know who the fuck is Tate. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. The boys will let you know when there's a Spurler. Due to male pattern baldness, they don't wear curlers. Stay salty, people, that's their closing line. And don't forget, have a beer, you'll be fine. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Salty language.
Hey enthusiasts, what's happening? This is Salty Language, episode 494.
The sexiest podcast on the network.
Work. Yeah.
Hi, Brian.
Hello, Tony.
How's it going?
You know, it's going. Actually, it's been a fucking shit show for me. 'Cause,
Really?
yeah, I've been without my antidepressant for about a week now.
Oh, geez, how's that working out?
Not great. Not great, I'll tell you. I will say this. This one is not as brutal as that first one I was on.
Right.
That first one I was on, holy shit, I was getting brain zaps and just could not focus at all. And
I mean, what happened?
this time was I sent in the request to my doctor's office because I saw I was on my last, fill, and I was like, okay, I got about 2 weeks left. So Or no, I have a week left, so I'll message them. Usually it takes them like 2 days, and then it's filled. No big deal, because I can.
Right.
When I go over to Kroger, I'm like, "Yo, I need this like now," and they'll fill it while I'm right there. No big deal.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I never heard anything back from them, and I'm like, "Well, okay." So I go over to Kroger, and they're like, "Yeah, they're not responding to our calls or anything, and they haven't called it in." I'm like, "All right."
Wow.
Luckily, I still had some of a lower dose that I could take, and I'd been told before you can take 2, to equal. So I had a little bit of a backup,
Right. You're like, in case of emergency, break glass.
Right. And actually, my timing's off. This has been 3 weeks ago. This whole thing started. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been a week without. Anyway, so I get. I'm like, okay, so I call my doctor's office because I'm like, well, because I'm starting to, I'm in my backup reserve, and if I run out of this, I have nothing, and, you're not supposed to cold turkey antidepressants.
Right.
So, I called my doctor, or no, that's what it was. I was going to call my doctor, but it was Martin Luther King Day, so they were closed, and I'm like, crap. So I actually dropped myself down to half the dose because I didn't know how many more days I was going to have to make this backup last.
Yeah. Bro, you're on rations now.
Yeah, seriously. And, which is okay because, again, the way this medicine is, you can go from, I'm on 20 milligrams, you can go from 20 to 10, and I don't notice a massive difference, and you can kind of just walk yourself down pretty easily. Because I had done it before when they took me from 20 down to 10.
Right.
So I was like, okay. And again, please don't ever do any of this without working with your doctor, and please try your best to never cold turkey an antidepressant because it can really mess with your brain. So there's my public service announcement. But
excellent work. That's what we're here for at Salty Language.
Right. So having said all that, no. But anyway, so I ran out and I called my doctor, and I was like, hey, I need to talk to the psychiatrist. I'm like, I'm guessing the reason they didn't call it in is I probably need to schedule a new appointment. But usually with that, they'll return a call and say, hey, you got to schedule a new appointment. We went ahead and called in a refill,
Right.
That didn't happen this time. So when I finally talked to them, they're like, oh, yeah, that psychiatrist isn't with our group anymore. And I'm like,
that's nice.
Oh, so basically all my messages were I might as well have just been talking to a wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
you're just throwing them out into the ether.
And I'm like, okay, why don't they have, they have an email, they call it the patient portal, where you can.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it's not that fun. It's like, you can log in, though, and request refills and schedule appointments and all that kind of stuff. But there's an email system in there. Why isn't there an email that goes out to anyone that's a patient of hers that says, yo, she's not with the group anymore? And then I find out they don't have a psychiatrist of any kind right now.
I'm kind of surprised they don't have something set up to bounce it back and be like, they don't work here anymore.
Yeah, that would be fine, even.
Yeah.
Because they'd be like, luckily, for me, my primary care has prescribed this for me before, so he can prescribe it and will prescribe it. This isn't something where now I'd have to go in and talk with him about all this. It would be, and I've been on this medicine for a while, so. But what stinks is, you can't just go to the pharmacy and say, hey, I'm out, and they'll go, oh, here's a few to tide you over.
This will get you by, buddy.
Because it's an antidepressant, and those are controlled substances. So they can't. So, I mean, they wouldn't anyway. I don't, but it's the idea, you can't even, I've heard some stories of some pharmacists over the years that, for a blood pressure pill or something like that, where they've kind of helped some people out because it's like, look, you've been on this 40 years, but.
Yeah,
whatever.
Here's one, crush it up and snort it.
Yeah, basically. They're not supposed to, and I wouldn't ask. So so finally I'm like, okay, well, can you have, my doctor call this in? Cause I'm out of this. And the nurse was like, yeah, okay, blah, 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 or receptionist, whatever she was. And then I'm like, no, I want to reiterate that I am out of this and you are not supposed to cold turkey this because of the side effects. I'm like, I've tried to call this in. This isn't we'll just punish him basically by not filling it for 2 days,
Right.
This is I did what I was supposed to do and no medicine. This is no bueno.
Yeah. I'm following the proper steps here.
Yeah. Cause they tell you, for some reason, my doctor's office, they had a thing where a bunch of people, they were calling in prescriptions to like the pharmacies around here, and then people weren't picking them up. So they no longer do that if the pharmacy contacts them. You personally have to contact them.
All right.
Which is stupid.
That is pretty dopey.
You know, whatever. So, yeah. So I'm still without it, and this has been, like I said, it's been the better part of a week now. I went to Kroger Friday, because the doctor's office said they called it in. So I was like, awesome. I have to go to the store anyway. While I'm there, I'll be like, yo, can you go ahead and fill it while I'm in the store?
Yeah, hook me up,
Except that Kroger was like, yeah, we would, except we're completely out of that medicine.
Oh, my God.
And I even said, can you call my doctor and see if maybe he can reduce it to 10 milligrams and give me, just 10 milligram, give me a partial dose or whatever. So I have some. They were out of that as well. And I'm like, oh my God. And it was late enough in the day. This was my fault, but it was late enough in the day that they couldn't, like, even if they had called another Kroger and they had it, I wouldn't have been able to get there in time.
Right.
Because it was right before close. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, okay. And I still haven't. And today's Monday. I have not heard from them yet. They were supposed to get it Saturday. So tomorrow I'm going to, go back over there, I guess, or call or both, or I don't know what. And hopefully, if they don't have it, hopefully one of the other ones around will, or I'll just be like, can you call another pharmacy like Prairie up the road or something here? And
do something.
Like, the worst part is this. The withdrawal stage, for me, the worst of it is about the first 5 days.
Right.
Then you start feeling, like today I'm feeling kind of normal again, but if I get that medicine for a certain amount of time, I'm going to feel like out of it again for probably another week until my body kind of adjusts back to it,
Right.
So, yeah, this week I haven't been able to focus. I've been grouchy as hell. I don't want to talk to anybody. It's been a blast.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah, good times, I'll tell you.
Have you tried visiting Dr. Johnny Walker? Like, well, sir, our pharmacy's about ready to close. That's great. How late's your liquor store stay
Yeah, open? Right. It is funny that the liquor store is open later than the pharmacy.
It's almost ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, I like I said, I cannot recommend not doing this enough. But, and it stinks because you can't call in a refill like a month early because then my insurance won't pay for it.
Right.
So you have that window where you have to wait a certain amount of time, but it's like, but I'm out. And,
it almost seems like with something like that you have been on for a while and you need that there should be almost like for instance, tomorrow the FedEx man is going to drop off a 40-pound bag of dog food for me that I have auto shipped once a month.
Right.
Why isn't that a thing for
a 40-pound bag
prescriptions?
A 40-pound bag if it shows up. Yeah.
And not even shipped to your house, but just automatically gets sent to the pharmacy.
Right.
Unless the doctor's like, we got to cut this dude off.
Well, when I was on Effexor, which is the first one I was on, I used to have to go to my doctor's office. It was shipped to them, and then they gave it to me. I had to go pick it up there. So, that kind of is what you're talking about. But with this new one, they don't do that anymore or something. I don't know.
Weird to me that's not a thing.
Yeah. What irritates me is when you're on a medicine for a long time and you run into a situation like this. And I understand doctors can change their minds and your circumstances can change and all this, but it's like, I'm surprised that they don't have within the law, like, hey, I can show you or you can look and see I've had a very recent prescription. And if I call and say, hey, the doctor's office is, being an asshole, which they're familiar with because they've dealt with my doctor's office enough, and be like, can you, like I said, spot me 3 or 5 of them, just so I'm not without it. And I understand part of the reasons is because of, drug abuse and selling, prescription drugs and stuff like that. But it does stink that there can't be some middle ground here, because in the meantime, I've been absolutely miserable for the better part of a week now.
Yeah, that sucks.
Because of this. And it's, and I said some not very nice things to the people at my doctor's office the other day when I was there, and they told me that, that psychiatrist isn't with them anymore, because I'm like, hey, this affects my medicine. This isn't just I can't even give an example because most doctors can prescribe something, but you know what I mean? It's like, this affects my medicine. If she's not there, why doesn't that, like you said, why doesn't it bounce back to me? Or why doesn't it automatically default bounce to your primary care doctor?
Something.
Right?
Someone should know.
Because if it bounced to his office, he'd be like, oh, he's out of this, and he'd fill the prescription because he knows I need this.
Yeah.
In the meantime, it just fucking hangs out there in limbo. Yeah. And I'm over here, living in a garbage can, grouching at kids on the street,
I mean, it sounds like a cool life.
Yeah, it's not that good, really. I mean, it's cool for a little bit, but then people start throwing garbage on you. It's not great.
I mean, what if it's good garbage?
It's not, though.
Like rich neighborhood garbage.
Yeah, well, I don't live in a rich neighborhood, so it's not. It's
shit,
not good enough garbage.
I
mean, it's like pizza boxes, but there's no good pizza left in it.
Just shitty crust.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. And those little plastic tables.
They probably give the crust to their dogs.
Probably. That is a baller move, actually.
Yeah. They just let, like you said, I just have a stack of these tables now.
Yeah. I mean, they're adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm building stuff out of them now, What else can you do?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
But anyway. Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate to hear. And I shouldn't be surprised that our medical system failed you.
Yeah.
But it's still surprising when I hear stuff like that.
Do you know what's amazing to me? Is how technology is ridiculous, right? Like, we can do some of the craziest shit that's ever been possible in humanity. But for some reason in the medical industry, they might as well be running on DOS computers.
Yeah, I've never understood that
it's
shit.
It's why, my doctor's office didn't have this patient portal thing until 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's why, community boards existed when we were teenagers.
Yes.
That you could log into and get messages. Why has this email's been around forever? Why has there not been a thing?
I will never understand why you go see a new doctor and they're like, oh, here's a 20-page packet of shit we need you to fill out. It's don't you have access to all my medical records?
Yeah. And the funny part is, no, that's the thing,
It's I should just be able to sign something and be like, yes, you can look at my shit, and then it's over.
It's you think about it, it's what was it, a few years ago, they were talking about how, they were talking about making, things that would go on your keychain, basically, like a thumb drive kind of a thing that would have your medical records on them. So in the event that you were injured, away from home, they could just plug that thing into a computer, essentially, and get your information, or
actually he's a donor, take his organs.
Yeah.
What? No, I'm still alive, guys.
They just write donor on your ID with a Sharpie. It says donor right here.
That's crazy.
It's spelled wrong, DONER. It's like that says donor. Well, he's that too. But, it's when I heard stuff like that, I'm like, why can't they send these things to each other? And I understand a lot of it is they want to make sure, for security purposes and blah, blah. But like you said, I think about all the info we're willing to just give people just so we can have a cool new game on our phone. You know what I mean? It's
yeah, exactly.
I mean, I understand there's security risks and whatever with it, but I don't know. I'd just be like, yes, please. Because like you said, every time you go to a doctor, you got to fill out 50 pages on, and you're like, I'm here for nothing that has anything to do with this.
Yeah. I just need my 40-year-old checkup.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for. I don't, what are we doing? And I already filled this out the first time I came here. Sure, it's been a year, but I got to fill it all out again? Really?
I was going to say my favorite is actually when you go into the doctor's office and they're like, oh, it's a new year, so we have to have all new paperwork for your insurance. And I'm like, why can't you just print out a paper that says, yo, none of my shit has changed? and I sign it, and then you put it in the file.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
it's just the dumbest shit ever.
Because nothing has changed, and if so, you would know you're my doctor.
Yeah, also true.
Like you'd have it on the file already. But yet, like when I filed for disability through Social Security, I was able to just sign a piece of paper that allowed them to get all of my medical records.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah. I was like, why is it so easy for a court, but not another doctor?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man, it is frustrating. I mean, and that's obviously, people out there dealing with way worse shit than these, but
but it's like when, I'm just nitpicking now, but we're in the doctor's office and there's those walls and walls of like cranky crank shelves that move and it's all just full of paper.
Yeah.
You're like, what time portal did I walk through?
Yeah.
Like I have access to all the information right here on my wrist even.
Yeah.
And you have to cranky crank to find the J's.
Yep.
I
don't. Most of the doctor's offices are in the process of finally getting to a digital version of that, And once it's all digital, then they'll be able to share like crazy. But it was like, why is it taking so long for them to adapt to this? Like, again, the file sharing stuff has been around a long time. And I don't mean like, Napster or something like that, like file sharing from years ago. I mean more like just, email, kind of things. Like you've been able to move documents and even securely, because, they have their own networks and different shit that they can, encrypt and all that. So.
What do you want, man? Them to put a chip in your neck and they can track you, man? If it's going to save me from filling out 45 minutes of paperwork and all I have to do is scan my fucking neck, yes.
Yeah. What would be really nice is if you could, I don't know, I know through the phone's not secure or whatever, but it would be nice if you could just enter all this stuff in your phone. And then,
with Apple, I'm not sure about Samsung phones, but with Apple, you kind of can. You can set up like a medical ID.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
To where you could to where your doctor's office is like, oh, we need you to, and you're like, hold up, like, and you just, here's the file.
Let me unlock my phone with my face, and then I'm gonna throw this file through you. I'm gonna airdrop this to you.
Right, and done.
And then we're done.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go play Candy Crush like a savage.
Yeah, until you call me in half an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's
I'm
something.
Gonna go watch Netflix in 4K.
It was funny. So I get to my doctor's office. I had to go have blood drawn, and so they have you schedule an appointment. It used to be you could just walk in, but now, with COVID and stuff, they don't want 15 people lining up outside.
What do you mean?
So
I don't understand why.
I get a text from them that is like, hey, when you get here, text this number and we'll start the appointment thing. And I'm like, okay, this must be new, whatever. So I'm in the parking lot, hit up the text thing, it's put in your birth date and blah, 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 and I'm like, okay, do this stuff. And then I get a phone call, like I get all of it and it's like, your appointment, we know you're here. We'll message you when, your appointment is up or whatever. So I'm like, all right, I'm thinking, well, I guess I just sit in the car. I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe they just don't want people coming in, which is understandable,
Fair enough.
Until their actual appointment, so you're not sitting in there coughing like a savage or something the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, then I get a phone call from the desk, and she's like, Brian, you don't have to do the check-in thing for blood work. She's like, you can just come in and we'll buzz you back. And I'm like, what? Then why the fuck did I get the text? So it's like, on one hand, we're sitting here and we're like, why don't they ever use anything new? And then on the other hand, it's like, then they get, something new and it's like, it's not what I'm used to. And they don't know how to use it. It's like.
Can I take a moment to bitch about the same kind of situation?
It wasn't a big deal, by the way. I only was out there for like a minute, but it was still funny to me that I went through all that rigmarole when I literally could have just walked in, got the forehead temperature gimmick done, and then just walked right back.
Yeah, and then you're good.
Yeah.
No, so over the weekend I rented a U-Haul because we got like a new couch.
Yeah.
And a chair.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, I'm not fitting that shit in my little car.
Yeah, you might have.
Yeah.
A little duct tape and a couple tie downs, you would have been all right.
I mean, it's true. I saw a ridiculous video today of a guy having a shitload of stuff stacked on his car, and it's like,
see?
What are you doing?
Dude, listen, the Beverly Hillbillies drove all the way out to California.
That's actually what that dude kind of looks like.
With the grandma strapped to the top. He would have been all right.
Hell yeah. Well, the last time I got a U-Haul, it's usually like you walk in, you do all this nonsense, they ask you all these stupid questions, and they go on, they walk around the truck, and they look at it, and whatever. So when I was on the website, it's like, hey, you set up a reservation. I'm like, cool. And it's like, do you want to have, like, you walk in to get your truck, or do you want to have mobile pickup? I'm like, oh, if I don't have to talk to these animals that work in U-Hauls, then yes, I want a mobile pickup.
By the way, if at Asshole Sundries and such, mobile pickup means that when we walk out, we'll slap your phone out of your hand and be like, pick up your mobile.
Yeah, pick that up, bitch.
Tee.
But, so, get there. It's like, you can't start the process till you're on site because, GPS is,
Sure.
So, and the U-Haul I'm going to, Brian, you'll be familiar, is over by where we used to live. The old Kmart going local.
Oh, yeah, okay. Right.
That new one they put in there, right? So you know how big that parking lot is.
Yeah.
Okay. My truck I was picking up was parked all the way out by the street.
Of course.
Thank God I didn't drive myself and Michelle took me over there. Because if I had to walk around like an idiot. Anywho, so I pull in and it's like, hey, start the process. Take a picture of yourself. Like, oh, okay. So I took a picture of me and it's like, take a picture of your license front and back. Okay. And then it's like, all right, go locate your truck. Here's the numbers you're looking for. I'm like, oh, all right. So we drive out there. I'm like, oh, cool. It's this truck right here. And then it's like, all right, now you got to go back to the building, get your key. So I'm like, drive back to the building. And they have all these lock boxes.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're in this box. Here's the combination. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. Sure enough, get the key.
Yeah.
And then it like some random pop-up came up, and it was just like, your contract does not support mobile pay. And I'm like, I have the key in my hand, And it's like, so what the fuck am I supposed to do? So I was like, whatever.
I guess at that point you just hotwire the truck and, well, you have the key, so never mind.
Do I have the key?
Yeah, you just
so
go.
I'm like, all right. I'm just like, let me pull my map. I did this to not interact with these people.
Right.
I have to go interact with these people.
Yeah, of course. Right.
So I'm, walk in. I'm like, and they're like, hey, can we help you? I set this up for mobile pickup. I just got a phone that does not support it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, let me pull it up. What's your name? Go through the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, well, on my end, your truck's been dispatched to you. So I guess it's good. It's like, oh. Okay.
All right.
I'm like, all right, so whatever. So we get back in the car, and she drives me out to the truck, hop in the truck, turn the key, click, 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 battery's dead. So get go back to the office.
Wow.
They're like, oh, can we help you? What's going on? I'm like, yeah. The fuck is that? Oh, we're real sorry. Let us stop. But what I noticed that pissed me off is they took the key, they just hung it up with all the other truck keys. They didn't set it aside, the bag.
They're pulling the move we used to do at the video stores then, and so this doesn't work, and you just put the X on it and put it back on the shelf.
Like, sure it doesn't.
Yeah.
But for it being was supposed to be a quick thing, I was there probably a half hour running around doing shit.
Jeez.
It was, and then, because it was still mobile pickup, when I took the truck back, I had to take a picture of the odometer, take a picture of the fuel gauge, take a picture of the cab, take a picture of the back, take a picture of where you parked the truck.
Wow.
It's like, I'm just like, I should have just done it the old school way.
Did you take a picture of you flipping them off?
I should have.
That should have been the picture of you, is you flipping them off.
It's just like, Jesus, and then...
Yeah.
The truck, because normally you get these trucks and they're full, so you just fill it back up. How much gas? Because I don't know how much I put in it.
Yeah.
It's a whole goddamn situation.
Yeah.
This is why I need to get a truck for my own or something.
Right.
Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, it makes...
Fuck you, U-Haul.
It makes sense because, my mom will ask me questions.
All this dick.
My mom will ask me questions like that all the time about, like, if this is, if technology is so great, why does it make things more complicated, kind of a thing? And I'm like, well, it doesn't when it's applied appropriately.
Yeah, when it works well, great.
Yeah.
When it's that. Well, and plus the whole mobile process, if I wasn't paying attention, I would have been paying for so much more shit.
Oh, that's lovely.
Because it's like, it's like Furniture Dolly. If I just would have hit continue, it would charge me for a dolly.
Nice.
And then like up in the top corner, it's like, no, I don't need this.
Yeah, of course.
And then it was like, what about furniture pads? It's like, no. What about a movie company?
Yeah.
No.
Like, what about a refreshing lemonade? Well,
well, maybe.
It's not ruling anything out here. Yeah, it's like three-quarters of the screen is yes.
I was not impressed by the whole process.
Yeah. That doesn't sound, unless you're really like a person with, like real, like heavy social anxiety, it sounds like it would just be easier to just go in and deal with the old way. Like you said.
Believe me, like right when the battery wouldn't turn over, I was just like, I had to sit there for a second.
Oh, I bet. You're just seething.
And I was just like, all I could just like think was like rage, fucking rage.
Yeah. It's like time to go into.
All right, I need to have a little kumbaya moment.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you go into a meditation for a couple minutes to.
Like, because I'm like the dead battery and all. This really isn't that woman's fault, but I was slammer.
Yeah. Yep. And it's. It is. To be. To crazy life this. It is really good that you were able to recognize that, though, because most people, that's where it sucks to be a customer service person, is it's something completely out of your power, and somebody's just, because think about it, like you said, otherwise you're walking in and you're just ready to unleash,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Which is totally unfair to them, because that, their job is to, help, but it's like, nobody deserves to have somebody just come in where you don't have a clue what's going on and they just rah, and like
yeah, exactly, unleash hell.
You're like, whoa, like
easy, sir, like, easy.
Like maybe explain it to me first, then get mad if I'm an asshole to you.
I was not impressed.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
that does sound really. I would have been the same way. I would have just been fuming out in that truck.
Yeah, I guess it was just like, and I'm like, okay, and I'm sitting there thinking like, well, this is basically the exact same thing I drove for like 15 fucking years.
Right.
So, but I'm looking around like maybe there's something I'm not doing right because it's a newer van, and nope.
Yeah.
And then we even click. I'm like, oh, this thing's real dead.
Yeah, I'm with you. The part I think would have irritated me honestly, it's weird as this may sound, is the part that would have irritated me the most is that they just hung the key back up.
Yeah, that's when I saw her do that. I was just like,
because you're not gonna.
I was looking at the board.
Yeah,
and there was like ready to go trucks that said restricted, and then there was like, needs maintenance today, stuff like that. And I was like, oh, she's gonna put it, and then just hung her up the rest of the keys. So I was like,
yeah, that's like I said.
You're a special young lady.
That is literally like they told us to do at the video stores with the when someone would bring a movie back that doesn't work. Remember Family Video, we were supposed to just put the little line on
it
by the barcode so that, we knew if it came back again that, it actually is.
It's actually fucked up.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, so dopey.
Yeah. So shitty, because instead of, like, literally, don't bother to test it, which I understand. You can't watch the whole movie, so unless someone stops it where it doesn't work, you're...
I mean, you could.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah. I mean, like, I had a real problem with the Dukes of Anal, too. Like, I better check this out.
It is amazing how many times porn would come back, this didn't work, and I'm like...
Like, what do you mean it didn't work?
Like, you didn't get hard?
You look like a 5-second dude.
Yeah,
so.
Like, you couldn't get going, the wife wasn't into it, like, what's the situation
You can't tell me you were laying there for 35 minutes lazily jacking, and then you got to that scrambled part, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So you're watching a porn, like, we're going back to the VHS days, so you're watching a porn on VHS, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, really getting after it. And then you hit a part where it just keeps jumping, or it's
like
weird.
The track is all fucked up.
Or it's scrambled or whatever. Do you fast forward it, Or what do you, you know what I mean? It's like at that point, is that a situation where you're like, God damn it, and you get up, pull your pants up and I go back to the video store, or
buckle your belt over your boner?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. What a mood killer.
I feel like I would just try to fast forward it or put in something from your own collection to,
Yeah, I was like, I never rented a pornographic video.
I never did either.
It exists.
Yeah.
I don't know what the situation would be there.
Yeah. It's just funny to me to think of the scenario of it. But I also don't know if I rented a porn and it didn't work. I don't know that I would go, yeah, excuse me, young man.
I just want to let you know at the 26-minute mark.
Yeah. I was perusing this.
It goes all long and you lose sound.
Right. Like, I was perusing this film of the adult nature and
it's in a very important scene. She's just getting wrecked.
Yeah.
And everything goes sideways all
of
a sudden.
And I need to know how it turns out.
I need conclusion.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I don't know. But, whatever. Fucking weirdos out there.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah. So, so how about you? Anything else? How's your week been?
Oh, well, I got more disappointment if we want to talk
about
it.
Oh, well, of course. That's what we're all about here.
We're on a rant right now. So, or maybe I was saying it before recording. I don't know. But I meet my kids for lunch usually on Friday.
Right.
Or at least, very at least my son.
Yeah.
And last Friday, they're like, hey, Dad, let's meet for lunch Friday. I'm like, cool. That sounds great. Where do you guys pick the place? What do you guys want? You just let me know. Right. I was going to bed. And, next morning, Logan's like, how about barbecue? I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. Barbecue sounds great.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'm trying to think of what's, in the areas we normally go to. I was like, oh, there's Shorty's and there's Famous Dave's. Because as far as I know, Toledo really doesn't have local barbecue really much anymore.
Not really.
I got that place by me, that backyard barbecue. It's not amazing.
It's all right. Yeah, you and I have been there.
There's no good, unless you go to some of the food trucks, there's no real good local barbecue that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. None that I'm aware of either,
Yeah.
But there are still some places I haven't tried. There's one downtown that I haven't tried, and, I haven't tried, like you said, the food truck, like that one that's over at Jackman and Alexis. The Weeby Ribs.
Which, by the way, Weeby Ribs has been Weeby Ribs forever, and then for 2 months they changed their name to We Are Ribs.
Yeah.
And then they changed it back. Right. Because Weeby Ribs is iconic.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, I was with you because I remember you and I talking about that, when they switched, and we were like, "What the hell are they doing? Don't change.
What are they doing? Trying to church this up?
Don't change for the white man. Stay true.
Stay true. Exactly. Weeby Ribs.
Yeah.
Anyway,
what you be? We be ribs.
We be ribs.
Yeah.
The last time I was at Famous Dave's, though, because they got one at Cedar Point. I was there, my whole family, including my parents.
Yeah.
So they're all at Cedar Point together.
Right.
And it wasn't bad. It wasn't amazing, but I expect that at, a theme park.
Yeah,
too.
It's chain barbecue. It's fine, but it's not great.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's not amazing, but it's not terrible. Well... I got there before the kids. Part of me was perfect. I could sit down, get a table, get a beer, because it's after work. A nice, refreshing beer sounds amazing.
Sure.
But I walk in, and I'm looking around. No one's there's a couple people sitting down, but there's no one working at the hostess station.
Yeah.
And I just kind of stood there for I don't know, probably 30 seconds, and someone just wandered out. They're like, "Oh, hey, sir." I'm like, "Hey." She's like, "Do you have a pickup order?" I'm like, "No, I'm here to eat here."
Yeah, right.
She's like, "Oh, well, have you been here since COVID?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "Oh, okay. Well, what we're doing now is you order here, you pay now, and then we bring your food to you."
Okay.
I was like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Well, I'm waiting for my kids to show up, so I'm just gonna hang out, look at the menus." Immediately, I'm like, "Well, I'm not getting a beer."
Yeah.
Because I'm going to want at least 2.
Right.
But I don't want to order 2.
Beer math. Gotcha. Yeah.
Beer math. Yeah.
Right.
So I was like, whatever. I guess I'll drink a sweet tea and whatever.
I think you should have just ordered 2. Just baller move it.
I should have.
Yeah. It's well, I'm going to need 2 beers.
Like immediately now.
Right now. Yep.
Because the whole like cafeteria thing. That's why that one taco shop that's over by Costco, the Fuzzies, is the same situation. I'll never go back because it's like I want to have a couple beers while I'm eating tacos and sit at the bar. But if I have to order everything at once and pay once, and I can't set up a tab, I'm out.
Yeah.
It's just not interesting to me.
Right.
It's not what I do.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was like, all right. So the kids show up, and I'm like, all right, here's how it works. We order everything here. And then we go sit down. I'm like, the menu's kind of limited. I'm like, we have a chance now. If you guys want to go to Shorty's, we can just leave and go to Shorty's.
Yeah.
And they're like, nah, we're here. I'm like, all right. So we order some food. The lunch was fucking expensive for the four of us because I got takeout for Michelle.
Yeah.
Like way more than I should pay for a lunch.
Yeah.
I was like, well, whatever. It's barbecue. You always pay a little more for barbecue.
Really quick, lunch portions or normal portion?
Well, Logan, he did ask. He's like, hey, can I get a dinner so I can have like leftovers for food tonight?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had one dinner, but everything else was lunch.
All right.
It was still way too expensive especially for me not getting a couple beers too.
Yeah, right.
Because the beers I typically order like $8 beers sometimes.
Right.
So what are you gonna do?
Yep.
But I won't even get into how much it was. It was way too much money.
All right, fair enough. $15, got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what made it worse is the food was meh at best.
Yeah.
Like the sauces were good because the sauce, they brought the little sauce caddy out before the food came out, so I got my knife and I did a little dab on each one so I could try them all.
Sure.
All the sauces were pretty good.
Yeah.
But I get brisket and the pulled pork with a side. The brisket was okay. The pulled pork was just okay. Wasn't amazing.
Yeah, the last time I was there, I got brisket because I enjoy some brisket, and dude, it was so fatty. Like it felt like it was mostly fat.
All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. And I got the chili, which was okay as well.
Yeah.
Leah got pulled chicken sandwich with mac and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
She took one bite and she was like, "Oh, Dad, this is so gross." And I was like, "What?" And I tried the chicken. I don't know. It was clearly frozen and then reheated.
Yeah.
It was so rubbery and gross.
Oh yeah, that sucks.
And then the mac and cheese had fucking corn in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's weird.
It was weird, but it wasn't good.
Wow. All right.
And then Logan got, I think he got brisket. I want to say he got the pulled pork, and then he got two sides because he had the dinner. He got the mac and cheese too, which he was actually kind of like, "Oh, I don't mind the corn in there. I think it's kind of good."
Yeah. we
both judged him hard, but his brisket was basically fat.
Yeah.
And it's like I was so I'll never go again.
Yeah. That's understandable.
Never again will I go to Famous Dave's.
Yep.
I think Leah gave him a 1-star Yelp review because she was so enraged by her lunch.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was like 1 star and her review was just like fucking corn in the macaroni and cheese.
Like, really, bro?
90 exclamation points.
I mean, that sounds like a very Leah move, actually.
That's such a weird thing to put corn in there.
The whole.
I understand the textural difference, but still, why corn? Why not? I don't know. Most people would put, I don't know,
maybe bacon.
Yeah.
Maybe brisket chunks. That'd be cool.
Oh yeah. Well, dude, you remember that barbecue place we went to at Dev that one time, and I got that brisket mac and cheese?
Yeah.
It came on that little skillet. Oh, that was so good. Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, it was so disappointing.
Yeah, that's too bad. Barbecue is one of those foods. It's similar to when you go see stand-up comedy, that when it's bad, you're just so let down by it.
Because I've been kind of craving some good barbecue, and I was like, I know it wasn't going to be amazing.
Yeah, it wasn't going to be Slows,
but I figured it was going to be all right.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even all right.
You would think so because it's a chain, and usually that's what you expect from a chain place like that. It's like, well, it's going to be okay,
Yeah, no, it was horrible.
That is too bad. I'm very disappointed for you, but I understand because, like I said, the last time I went and I got brisket, I was like, I'll never order brisket here again because I don't want to get just fat that's, pretending to be brisket.
Yeah, like it makes me want like some real ass fucking, because that was so trash. You know what? Maybe if fucking Michigan reopening, trip up to Corktown and get some of that delicious Detroit barbecue.
Yeah,
the place I can't remember the name of anymore.
Yeah, should just be Detroit barbecue.
I can't remember the name of it.
I couldn't tell you. I don't know because I haven't been there.
They set up at
Slows?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Go up to Detroit and get some slows.
Heck
God,
yeah.
that's some good ass barbecue up there.
Jeez, man, my pants just got tighter. Shit.
Right?
I could go for some of that right now too.
Oh God, that was
delicious.
Yep. Well, you know, with the whole Michigan being closed thing, this actually kind of interfered a little bit with my weekend too.
Mm-hmm.
As Leah, let me rewind a little bit. Leah is going to be 16, like in a couple weeks.
Right.
Which is crazy to me.
Yes.
Since she's my youngest.
Right.
But
that you know of.
Really,
hey.
Oh, hey-oh.
Yeah.
But hasn't really, besides golf carts and shit, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, let's take it. You want to go drive? And she's like, yeah, all right. I had to do some running around, and we ended up going to I knew about downtown because we were going anyway.
Mm.
She did fine, by the way. A little nervous, but she did great. But even there, you know what? Because I was making enchiladas that night. So Marco's, because it's a big Mexican grocery store as well as a delicious place. Good times.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to Sam. Like, we're gonna be right up the road from Maumee Bay. I'm like, let's get a growler of root beer for you and your brother, and then I'll grab a growler because they might have something I want.
Right.
Middle of the afternoon, right? It's like not even close to dinner time. Nothing. Pull in the parking lot, dude. It was full up.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I was like not expecting that.
Yeah.
And you remember? I mean, it's probably been a while since you've been to Maumee Bay, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, on the first floor, like right next to the stairs, you used to have that little cafe.
Yeah.
Well, they gutted it, and there's a bar down there. There's a bunch of tables now.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, hey, I'm just here to fill growlers. They're like, oh, you can go upstairs. Or you can go to the bar right in here. I'm like, well, I'm clearly going to go in here because stairs. Why would I go up them? I don't have to.
Well, they have an elevator, but yeah.
Well, that too. Yeah, that's only reserved for extremely drunk nights.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Yeah, plead the fifth. But walk in there, and I couldn't believe how busy it was. And I'm just standing at the bar waiting. And a woman's like, "I'll be with you in a second." I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." I'm trying to keep away from the people sitting next to me.
Right.
But standing, and then they just start like the people next to me are like, "Hey, do you want to sit here?" I'm like, "No, I'm just waiting to get these filled." Like, "Well, we're leaving." I'm like, "It's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it."
Right.
And then the guy, because I got my Stanley growler here that's Founders. The guy saw it and he's like, "Oh, Founders." He's like, "Man, that's quite a drive."
Like, it's not really. It's only an hour.
Well, that's what I told him. I was like, well, there's one in Detroit, but I mean, I love the Grand Rapids one. He's like, actually, we're going to Grand Rapids today because our daughter lives there. I'm like, oh. I'm like, well, that's cool. And he's like, today's my wife's birthday. We live about an hour and a half away from Toledo, Michigan, so we drove here to have dinner.
Wow.
And then we're driving to Grand Rapids.
Wow. All right.
On the other side of me at the bar are like, oh, yeah, Dundee, we drove down here too. And I'm like, how? I explained, oh, shit, people, I never thought about it.
Yeah.
Toledo to
get
their fix.
Right. Because they can pick up growlers and stuff in Michigan, but they're not allowed to eat inside the breweries and stuff. Right. Yeah.
And I mean, I guess Toledo.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's to have the fact that two people on the bar that holds basically 6 because of social restrictions.
Yeah.
Both drove down. I'm like, how many other people in this building drove down?
Yeah. Well, it was like it was kind of the flip in like with Ohio having the 10 o'clock cutoff. When bars were open in Michigan, they were getting that from 10 o'clock on business. Everybody was driving up to Michigan. That's why that place across from Pavlov's was like packed. When I was at Pavlov's the one night.
Yeah, it's like a stone's throw from the border.
Yep. So everybody was going up there, and it's interesting. But yeah, Michigan's reopening, I believe on the 1st or the 5th or something like that. So it'll be right before the Super Bowl, which is good for the businesses in the area, you know.
I imagine it's going to be some restrictions, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like capacity restrictions or something.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm sure they have that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I haven't read any of the, you know, the specifics on it yet. I will, just because I'm, you know, it kind of, by knowing what the restrictions are, can kind of help you pick a place if you are going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, because you're like,
well, because I'm real curious, because I work with a dude, and he's like legit used to live in a small mountain village in Mexico, then moved to Mexico City. Now he lives in Toledo.
Yeah.
Right? And him and his family drive to Detroit to eat Mexican food.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Victor, I need you to tell me where you go.
For sure, because if you're driving,
he dialed me into the restaurant he loves up there, and I'm like,
all right,
as soon as I can go, I'm going to get some of his food.
Right.
Yeah.
And you also were like in for you.
I'm like, I can't wait for Michigan to open to go get some of this legit ass tacos.
Yeah. And you're like, for your sake, it better be good. No.
Oh, I do it. We talk food all the time. I have full faith in him.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
But oh man, yeah, it's like I mean, I get it. I know why they shut everything down, but the amount of like small restaurants and shit that went under, I feel so bad for.
Yeah. It is always tough, though, you know, because there is one of the things people do need to keep in mind, though, too, is that small businesses go under at an alarming rate every year.
Yes.
Now, granted, it's higher now. I'm not saying it isn't, but, you know, especially bars and restaurants, those tend to go out very quick because, you know, basically you either make it or you don't. You know, it's hard to stay in business long enough to turn the corner, you know, so. There is that too.
See about my favorite restaurant in Toledo going under because of COVID.
Yeah.
By building that's now something else.
I know.
My hackles go up a little bit.
Well, that's the thing is like that's a great example of a business that I don't think any way, shape, or form would have went under without COVID, because that place was always busy.
It was always busy.
Like no matter when you went, there was usually a line pretty. You know, like I remember going a couple times, like you have to get there early because if you're not there fairly early, there's just a long line, especially once it's lunchtime, you know, so.
Amen.
Yeah. That's why I said hopefully down the road, maybe they'll reopen with a food truck or another place or something, you know.
I'm hoping.
Maybe it was just a strategic move.
I kind of thought about like sending them a message like, hey, are you going to put something online if you ever do something different because I love your food?
Or can you come cook in my kitchen or something?
Yeah. Seriously, bro.
Yeah. Just tell me what I need to buy. You just show up and cook.
Yeah. Bro, I played a fun game over the weekend, though.
Yeah.
Right? There's this game. It's called, bear with me, okay?
Okay.
It's called Acorn, Attack of the Squirrels.
Okay.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's an Oculus game.
Okay.
But it's multiplayer.
All right.
So one person has the headset on.
Uh-huh.
And you're a fucking tree.
Okay.
All right? You got hands, and like you have different things that spawn in front of you that you can throw.
Okay.
And the whole objective is you have to protect your nuts.
Okay. First of all, really quick, since you said it's multiplayer, I'm assuming you don't have the hand controls then, right?
No, you have the hand controls. That's how you have hands.
Okay. So how do other people play?
On their phones.
Okay.
Yeah, like you get a room code and then they hop into the room. Yeah. So you can play up to 8 people against the tree, and your whole goal is to protect the acorns, and everyone else is squirrels that have different powers, like raiding you. And you know how satisfying it is to reach down and grab a squirrel and just yeet it off the map?
I ain't mad at this.
It's a fun-ass game.
That sounds pretty all right, yeah.
Great.
Wow.
Yeah. It was one of those things I saw, I saw it on a meme somewhere where I was like, man, that'd be fun to play with the kids, because the game is on the Oculus you have to pay for.
Yeah.
But the app is free.
Okay. So that's cool. At least you don't have to pay for every, person using the app or something. Okay, that's cool.
But yeah, it's surprising. It really is.
Wow.
Yeah. It's very creative way to, because Jackbox games where you just log in on your phone and it's like, it's the same principle. Everyone plays on their phone except for whoever's using the headset.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Because I was going to say, when you first said, you have the headset, and I'm like, okay, well, how do you do anything if you don't have the hand controls? Like,
oh no, you got it on their phone. No one's insulting you.
All right. Well, because otherwise I was like, I was thinking like, because you could do a game like with the Oculus where the person that's wearing the like headset or whatever, it's like the spotter and the other person's a sniper or something. But I was like, it'd be weird to split.
They have games like that.
Yeah.
One of them is, I think it's called like Keep Talking or We'll Explode or something. And I'm assuming it's the same principle of your cell phones, but it's a bomb defusal game.
Okay.
So whoever has the headset on is trying to defuse a bomb, and the other people outside are feeding them information.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. All right. Yeah. That's kind of interesting. All right.
Right.
Same idea, like they have an app on their phone or something that they get the information?
Yeah, my kids used to play, because I know there's a mobile version. My kids used to play it.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, but then what? Like, you have I got to snip wires and shit,
Yeah.
Cool concept.
Yeah, that is interesting. I do appreciate that. It's like trying to come up with innovative ways to make it, first of all, multiplayer without having to buy multiple like Oculi.
Because there is multiplayer games, but you need multiple headsets,
right?
Or you play with just weirdos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could be playing with weirdos either way, but yeah.
Well, that's very true.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm not really prepared to, buy more headsets.
Yeah. Right.
Really?
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
It'd be different if
dirt ass cheap.
Yeah, I was just going to say it'd be different if they were like $20, $30 or something. It wouldn't be like, what the hell, I'll buy a couple extra or something, Yeah.
Yeah, but it's basically like buying a whole nother console.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like buying a controller.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's that's what I was getting at. I can understand not wanting to lay out that kind of expense because that's quite a bit.
But you see like commercials and the whole family sitting on a couch of headsets on them.
Yeah,
like, these must be the same people that are like House Hunter Internationals,
Yeah,
I'm a stamp collector. I'm a botanist. Yeah. Our budget's $2 million.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. Yeah. And then on the episode, they're like, well, we can go up to 3. We just didn't really want to. Like,
it
what?
Blows me away. Jeannie used to watch that show all the time. Like, who the fuck are these people?
Yeah, I know.
I hate this show.
Do you know the worst? The worst of it was like, I always hated it too because it's just essentially it ends up becoming an inadvertent like brag, and it's so tone deaf to people, but people like that show, so whatever. The one that really rang as tone deaf was the Vacation House Hunters.
Oh yeah.
Where they're like, oh, we just want a little hut on a secluded island somewhere. We're prepared to go up to like $9 million. Like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. I want a hut on an island somewhere.
Sure.
Too.
Yeah. But
yeah. If I have a hut on someone's island, it's because I'm working for them.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't necessarily say how you wanted a hut on an island, so
That's true. Like groundskeeper Willie.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a tool shed with the house that they're like, well, we converted it to a place for you to live, and it's got a bed and like a hot plate.
Yeah, exactly. Like, home sweet home.
Yeah.
Like, if it's by the beach, I'm all right.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, there's no electrical hookup for the hot plate.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's no lights.
Well, I mean,
so I guess it's nighty night time.
View.
Yeah.
Like, well, I mean, the view is great.
Yeah. Like your room's out back and it's just a hammock.
I might be okay with that. Let's be honest.
Yeah. It's
the simple life, Brian.
Right.
It's all about the simple life.
Yeah. It'd be my luck though. It'd be one where like once a week or so you get a very intense like thunderstorm.
I mean, if you're looking at it, that's a good chance.
Yeah. Like with hail and,
It's like we've been No Reservations again.
Yeah.
Great show.
Mm-hmm.
And I just on the 30 episode, and he's in Quebec.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's great because it's these two highly regarded chefs in the city.
Yeah.
And they're just, it's so Letterkenny.
Yeah.
They're just like ice fishing on the river. They're not even in their shanty. They're just sitting out there ice fishing.
Nice.
And then they get a fish. Then they go in their little like ice fishing shanty.
Yeah.
And there's just a table in the middle of like a white linen tablecloth, and like fine dining utensils,
Sure.
and they just start eating like kings.
Right. Right.
And it's like, it's the juxtaposition of this like wooden shack.
Right.
With the way they're eating, they're smoking Cuban cigars, they're drinking good wine.
Right.
And I'm just looking at it like, that's what I need in my life. Like, I don't care, because it's like I wanted to put a little enclosure up for my grills. But in the wintertime, I was thinking it'd be great if I could get a little wood stove up there. It's like have a cigar, hang out outside. And looking at it, I'm like, that's exactly what I want. That thing right there.
Yeah.
All I want to do is sit outside and live like a gentleman in the winter.
Right. Yep.
I figured it out, man.
Yeah.
And
That's
instead
it.
of got
Just need a shack.
sling glass for 10 hours a day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we already discussed an option for you. Go be a manservant on a secluded island for somebody.
On a secluded island. Yep.
I mean, there's always options in the world.
There's always options in the world. I can just whore myself out, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Does it have good benefits?
Probably not. It's every time you ask about like what's it pay or what are the benefits or whatever, they just go look at this view.
It is me.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of just jingling some keys in front of you.
Yeah. Squirrel.
Yeah. How much does it pay? Jingly, jingly, jingly. Ooh.
Ooh, yeah.
What were we talking about? You were saying,
what's it pay? Here's an RP. Oh, nice.
Yeah. All the sand you can eat. Well, it is tempting.
I mean, yeah. Honestly, I'm kind of ready for an island situation again. It's been a little while.
Right.
I miss flip-flops, Brian. I miss warm sunshine.
You are living in the wrong area.
I know, man. Trust me, I'm aware.
I was watching an episode of Catfish last week, and one of the guys was from, I don't remember where, but somewhere not that far from us in Michigan. And, the host of the show, the guy lives in like LA or something now, and he's like, "Why'd you move?" And in my head, I'm going, "You've clearly not spent a lot of time here, my friend, because
you've never been in Michigan.
Had you would know." But the guy said he likes to run, outside, and this is not a great area to run outside, like half the year, basically, or at least 3-4 months out of the year. You don't really want to run outside here, although people do it. I see it all the time.
Those people are insane, and there's something more in their lives that they're not addressing.
But I think this is a guy who likes to, run shirtless in like, shorty shorts. So, you certainly don't want to be doing that this time of year here.
I mean, as cold as it is out, you won't be dangling. That's for sure.
That's for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, what are those weird bumps in your chest? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Are you smuggling plums in your vest?
Yeah. Someone punches him in the chest, and like, I've never seen a guy go down that hard. Like, must have really knocked the wind out of him. Yeah, that's it. He's like crying. I couldn't help but laugh when he said that, though. Oh, why'd you move? And it's like, 'cause I just wanted the guy to be like, 'cause it's Michigan. Like,
yeah. Like, have you spent a winter here?
Yeah. Have you spent a week here?
I mean, when curiosity last week, I was like, oh, I wonder what the temperature is up in Michigan, which is up in the Upper Peninsula, and it was far we were. Which doesn't make sense.
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
But it was.
Yeah. So I said, this is a weird place. A lot of it with I'm knocking Michigan, but a lot of it has to do with like what you like to do. Also, I'm not a hunter. I'm not a fisher. I'm not an outdoorsman of any kind. So all of the real allure of Michigan is aside from beer is pretty much lost on me. Like none of that is a draw for me. And You know, and like I said, as I talked a few episodes ago, you know, it's dreary here like half the year. You know, like there's just more negative than there is positive. And this goes for Ohio too. It's basically the same thing, you know, except Ohio's got less of the outdoorsy stuff, you know.
Yeah, pretty much. She was very like woodsman.
Yeah. You know, because like Michigan's got skiing and stuff too, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But Ohio is just, yeah, it's Ohio.
Just flat.
Yeah.
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 I mean, Ohio's at least got, you know, Hobie. We like Hobie.
Yeah. No. I kid. Yeah, you know. But the funny part about that though is we're almost driving out of Ohio to get to Hobie. Like they're at like
That's
almost
true.
the southern tip.
Yeah, they're basically Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, to be perfectly honest, at some point in my future, I could see myself being like, I gotta go somewhere warm.
Yeah.
Because every winter I spend here.
Yeah. Well, it's like Jim Jeffries.
Jaded about winter.
Yeah, Jim Jeffries talks about that. He's like, why the fuck would anyone live where it's cold?
And seriously, it's like at first I'm like, man, I love it. It's so fucking sweet. And then every winter for the past, I'm like, why do I?
Yeah.
Up every year.
Yeah. And it just gets worse.
Tomorrow morning when I'm scraping ice off my car so I go to work.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I know some people love it.
Yeah. I know.
I'm not one of those people. Once upon a time, I think I was. Yeah. I'm not that guy anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like, you know, I think a lot of, like for me, a lot of it turns into, especially, you know, as we get older too, you know, I've already got some of the Arthur in my knee, you know?
Right. So,
you know, and my back stiffens up when it's cold, you know, it's just like, I'm only 42, you know, it's like, this odds isn't going to get a lot better, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, it's like I was reading in, one of the groups I'm in today about a guy, I think he lives in Nebraska or something, and he mentioned that he was shoveling, like they're supposed to get up to 16 inches of snow, and I'm like, I mean, don't get me wrong, we don't usually get that level of snow, you know.
Thank you, Lake Erie.
Yeah, thank goodness
usually goes north or south of us.
We live in a pocket that things tend to swoop one way or the other. But I was still like, you know, because some of the snowstorms around, and you look and you're like, oh, they're going to get like, you know, I know it's still minor to 16 inches, but they're going to get like 5 or 6 inches. And it's like, we're going to get like 1 to 3 kind of a situation. Yeah. It's like 1 inch of snow here. It's like, you barely even bother to, like, you get a broom out, not a shovel. You know,
yeah, exactly.
You literally will just go sweeping.
You just look at it and you sneer.
Yeah, and it just melts.
Yeah.
You know, but it is funny though. Like Tate a few weeks ago posted how they got a couple of inches of snow in Alabama, and you know, people were basically like, you know, things were shutting down, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm like 2 inches here, people would still be in shorts here, you know, like we'd still be like, you know, you just look at your shoulder and be like, oh, and just, you know, brush.
This is inconvenient for people, huh?
Yeah. It's just it's so funny how everything is so relative. You know, 50 degrees, I've seen people bitching at California how 50 degrees is so cold. And I'm like, fuck you. You know, like 50 degrees, we'd all be out in like bathing suits right now.
Well, it's like my parents are down in, you know, South Kakalaki right now. And I got to talk to my mom over the weekend.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, it's a little chilly. It's like 60 and sunny. I'm like, yeah, Mom.
Fuck you.
It's sunny here, but it's also 25.
Yeah. Well, that's the worst part. You know, when we talk about the overcast in this area, is a lot of people be like, oh, we need more sunshine. I'm like, no. Like, the thing is we don't, because when it's sunny here, it's usually like 20 degrees. When we have cloud cover, it's like 40.
The windows, like, it looks amazing outside. Yeah. And you step outside, you're like, fuck this shit.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, my balls are my nipples now, you know?
Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah. That's why I said, it's like, if there's cloud cover, it's like 40, you know? So it's such a, that's why I said,
cloud cover, you are correct. Like, we need that little blanket of clouds to warm it up.
But on the same note, it sucks because it's dreary, you know? So it's, which do you prefer? Would you rather it's warmer and dreary or sunny as hell, but cold?
You know what I prefer, Brian?
70 degrees?
I prefer flip-flops, shorts, an ice-cold cerveza, probably sunglasses, and women in swimsuits walking around. That's what I prefer.
Yeah, I can get behind all that, especially the last one. Yeah.
I don't. This bullshit that we're putting up for 6 months. What the fuck are we doing for life?
I don't know, man. We're just. It's got to be some level of masochism, right? Like we know it's going to be this way.
I mean, basically, as soon as fall starts, we start whipping ourselves.
Yeah.
From whatever that fucking with Tom Hanks where he's solving mysteries and shit about the Bible. I don't remember.
Bosom Buddies? Bosom Buddies?
Yeah. Tom Hanks, he's solving Bosom Buddies.
No, it's
him and Jesus are Bosom Buddies.
Da Vinci Code.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just self-flagellation for like 5 to 6 months out of the year, and then it's a little warm, and we're like, brilliant!
Yeah.
This is amazing! And I will be. I'll be sitting outside like, this is nice.
Yep.
I enjoy this area. This is great. I love living here. And then, here comes goddamn Grandpa Frost falling down the stairs again, ruining the lives of everybody.
Yep, that's right. That's so true.
Goddamn Grandpa Frost.
Yep.
So he's put him in the goddamn home.
Yep. He keeps getting out.
Yeah, he does.
Yep.
One of those, like, you see those, silver alerts, and they're like, confused old person wandering the highway.
Good when it's him.
Yeah, good riddance.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, anyway, I just got a little nutty there.
Yeah.
Apologize.
It's all right. So, real quick, quick Madden picks update. Madden held its 50% mark. Yeah, so we're back. We had a little technical difficulties there, and
yeah, the internet in my neighborhood has not been great lately.
Yeah,
and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
like it dropped, and then it's like I'm checking now on my laptop. Apparently, it's back, but I'm using my cell phone to finish this podcast because I'm not taking any goddamn chances.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So annoying.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't even know what we're talking about.
I was starting to mention that Madden. I did the Madden picks last week, and it was it held its 50% average. That it's been carrying. Yeah, it took it took Green Bay saying Green Bay would cover, and obviously Green Bay didn't so much win, let alone cover. So
boy did they not.
So that one was right out, and but it did hit on saying that Kansas City would win and cover, which they certainly did. So
I mean, but I'm not honestly terribly surprised by that. Are you?
No. I thought Buffalo would be a little harder of an out for them, but even though the score, it was 14 points, but that game felt like it was way more than 14 points,
Right.
So, yeah. So, I'm going to wait to do the Kansas City Tampa Bay sim until, closer to the Super Bowl. That way I get, a later line on, for the spread.
The question is, how many babies has Tom Brady sacrificed to continue this career? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How many packs with demons does he have?
My favorite stat that I think I heard yesterday, there's all these different ones, like Tampa Bay is the first team to host a Super Bowl ever. So they potentially could be the first team to ever win a Super Bowl in their home stadium.
That's kind of a cool thing if that happens.
It is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. But my favorite stat yesterday was that what is it? Like I think it's like that Patrick Mahomes is like the first quarterback to start back-to-back Super Bowls in like 16 years, and the last quarterback to do it was one Tom Brady.
Well, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. I was like, Jesus, that just a scope of how long he's been in the game, So
Like if this is a prison yard fight, it's like the young upstart against the cagey old veteran who's gonna like clap his ears and punch his left testicle and
yep.
do all the dirty fight moves.
Yep, kick him in the back of the knee. Yeah, all that shit.
Hit him with some of that Bolo Yun pocket sand like in Bloodsport.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're not wrong because Mahomes is what, like 24 and Brady's what, like 96, I think. So
yeah, I don't know. He's apparently eternal.
It's really funny. I'm making it sound like Tom Brady's like super old. He's like our age.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure he was discovered in a crypt.
Yeah.
And then like his face changed to dirigible, in the desert or whatever, and he like caused locusts, and I don't know,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you got to do what you got to do to win Super Bowls,
Yeah, I don't even understand. Can you imagine that? You're just flying in a goddamn blimp and like a handsome Tom Brady face appears in a sand wall and is chasing you. God damn it.
Yeah, like, are you supposed to be terrified or, engorged at that point,
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if to run or turn around.
Yeah. Run or present. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Does anyone else see this handsome face in this sand wall?
Yeah,
I'm confused.
Yeah. I was really surprised last night. James Corden had Gronk on for a few minutes, and Gronk was on the bus, and I'm thinking he's on the bus to head to like the club or something like that. But
it was actually the Bang Bus.
Yeah, right. He just calls it the Gronk bus.
Exactly. You're about to get Gronked.
But, so Corden was like, are you going to celebrate or whatever? And he was like, nah, I've already kind of been there and done that. He's like, I had a burrito covered in like queso and sour cream, which, I can't be mad at. And then he was like, nah, he's like, we still got work to do. And I was like, whoa, Gronk grew up a little bit, because this is the dude who literally would have been like, his party would have started like the second they came off the field. He would have had like his entourage in the locker room,
Yeah, exactly. Like I had a burrito covered in cocaine.
Yeah. And strippers.
Wait, what?
And strippers. Yeah.
And strippers.
And strippers. Yeah.
That was actually the stripper's name, was Burrito. She was not a good stripper.
I was going to say, that feels like a stripper with a surprise. So,
Coming up next to the stage, get your pesos ready. It's Burrito.
That's terrible.
That is
but
terrible.
Hey, whatever you're into,
whatever you're into, man.
Yeah.
Just don't be shy if she shows you her beans.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Don't chicken out at the last minute,
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're in for the full ride. You can't get off the roller coaster before it's over,
Yeah, exactly, for sure. Actually, a burrito roller coaster sounds pretty epic, to be honest.
Do you get to eat a burrito on the roller coaster?
Maybe that's a challenge.
It could be a challenge.
Chipotle football burritos. You have
right.
to eat it while you're on the ride.
And of course, it takes you upside down, not once, not twice, but 6 times.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
In pure Chipotle fashion.
Right.
Dude, Chipotle Land sounds amazing.
Like every ride, you have to eat something of theirs.
You just got to eat.
Yeah.
Although, not mad, haven't had it yet, but I did see that Chipotle now has cilantro lime cauliflower rice.
Yeah, that's an interesting
for
move.
For us people that are desperately attempting to go back into their ketogenic lifestyle.
Right.
That's pretty awesome.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not one of those people, but I am very likely to go halvesies. Give me half rice, half cauliflower rice, because I don't love cauliflower rice as a full,
right.
kind of thing. But it's kind of like if I was, having a sandwich and you give me an option of lettuce or spinach, it's like, well, give me both, because I want the crunch of the lettuce and the health benefits of the spinach.
Like what I'm saying, Brian, is if I'm flying in a blimp and Tom Brady's handsome face shows up in a wall of cauliflower rice,
right.
I'm intrigued.
Right. You're definitely presenting then. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll be yelling, call me Giselle.
Wait a minute. He's like, oh, I'll put anyway, we'll just.
Yeah, we'll just stop it there.
Yeah, we'll stop it there. Have you had a chance to watch WandaVision yet?
No, I have
You
not.
son
I've
of a
been
bitch.
watching things besides WandaVision.
You son of a bitch. All right.
Like no reservations. And actually, I did watch. I'm halfway through it. Apparently, Netflix is putting out a movie a week.
Yeah.
In 20, which is insane.
Yeah.
Because there's gonna be a bunch of trash.
Oh, for sure. They can't all be winners.
They can't all be winners.
Yeah.
But I'm halfway through this one with Gordon Joseph Levitt.
Yeah.
And Jamie Foxx. It's called Project Power.
Okay.
It's
this
kind of
sounds
cool.
familiar.
It's about a movie about the street drug that when you take it, it'll either give you superpowers or it'll kill you.
Yeah. Now we're okay. Yep.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty well done. I got to finish it, but I mean, if their movie a week is going to be like that, I'm not mad at it.
Right.
But man, I can't wait to see some of the trash comes out.
Right. That's what somebody has to have that podcast ready to go, right? To where you watch whatever movie it is once a week for a year.
Oh, that's such a good idea. I mean, we could add it to our list of podcasts we'll never do.
Yeah, I'm in for it. I mean, we got like 16 others in front of it, but
I'm still very much. I was actually thinking about this at work today,
Mhm.
and I was going to talk to you about it tonight. Like, we really got to do that My Mother the Car podcast.
Oh yeah, for sure. My Mother the podcast. Yeah.
My Mother. Yeah, absolutely. We really need to get on that.
I agree. I don't know this other one though.
It's actually a really good idea, Brian.
This other one could be spicy,
I mean, why don't someone's put a list together of the Netflix movies?
Yeah, somebody has. I remember seeing something where they had a list of like, or at least I don't know if it was when they come out, but a list of at least some of them.
Netflix original movies. That's what I need to look for.
So really quick, while you're doing that, I'm going to quick talk about WandaVision. No spoilers. I'm not even going to talk about the new episode really, but I found it interesting how, as I've talked to more and more people about it, either they're like, it's so fun and cool, or they're like, it's really stupid. Like, I don't understand why anyone likes it. So it's very interesting to where I think what you have is, and I don't mean to be like a David Lynch fan here, but I think it's either you get it or you don't, as far as what they're really doing and trying to do here.
Right.
But it also helps if you're familiar with the comics it's based on, which most people are not going to be. Because it's a little bit of the Vision comic, which was really good. It's a little bit of a story where, well, it's tough because I don't even want to describe the comic story because I think it might kind of spurl the TV show for people a little bit. But there's a series of, a little bit of comics that it was based on that I think if you've read those, you understand it a little better. But I still think people could get what's going on. Clearly, there's something afoot,
I mean, the rumors I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
But the rumors I've seen is the next big Marvel villain people are theorizing is Mephisto or whatever you say, however you say it. It's basically Marvel's version of the devil.
Yeah.
That's what people are theorizing on the internet.
Yeah. Very well could be.
I don't know if it's true or not.
Well, I will say this. I watched episode 3 last night, and the end of episode 3, I think, will make some people understand what's going on much better.
All right.
So I'll say that without any other context. But this episode, I'll tell you this episode, Wanda is pregnant, and the fact that, like, she basically finds out she's pregnant to having the baby in a matter of, like, no time. So it's kind of funny.
Hold on.
All right. Yep.
How do you get pregnant with robot load?
With a synthezoid and, yeah, I don't... Well, you do have to remember her powers. Basically, she can kind of just manifest anything. So...
But, Brian... robot ropes.
Robo-load, yeah.
Robo-load.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I don't know. They,
I mean, I know the Soul Stone is an amazing creation.
Yeah.
But robo-loads.
Right.
you think basically he's just like putting a couple like shots of Pennzoil up there,
Yeah, basically.
A little WD-30 or whatever.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. I mean, it's a synthetic blend.
That's true. It's very...
Fuck. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. But anyway, I still enjoyed it. I'm still enjoying it. So I wish I was really...
Wait.
What?
Wait.
What?
The fact she gets pregnant means Tony Stark gave Vision a dick.
Yeah. Not necessarily.
I mean,
because again,
Tony Stark's a party person, though.
She can manifest things, so she could have given him a dick.
That's true. But I like to think that Tony Stark is just that kind of guy.
Yeah, like he's a perfectionist, you know. He's like,
I'm making this AI. Clearly, he's going to want to fuck.
Right. No, that's the first.
I'm Tony Stark.
That's the first thing he thought of.
Yeah, he designed the dick first. He's
yes.
like, I got attached to something.
He's just got a drawer of them. That's what he does for, that's like, a lot of people sit around, just doodle whatever. He just sits around and just creates dicks. And then, he just creates bodies to go with them. Yeah.
And then one disappears. He finds Pepper Potts in a compromising position. He's
right.
like, that's the one I'm making in the Vision.
Yeah.
Because clearly he called to her.
Right.
It's the only robo-dick of the Soul Stone
yes.
in it.
I was going to say that too. That's so good. And he's like,
powered.
Yeah. It's actually, oddly enough, the original dick is actually in his head.
Yeah, well,
that's where the Soul Stone is. It's on an angle, so the Soul Stone shows up. But then he made he used another one because he's like, well, I have to give him a different one. Or better yet, his face just flips like he's a transformer, and then his dick's right there.
That's terrifying.
Okay, it comes out of his head like he's a unicorn. Is that better?
Yes. Yeah, okay. Goddamn narwhal.
Yeah.
A narwhal of sex.
Right.
I mean, what's more terrifying than the infinity dong?
Right, donglet. Depends on what state it's in.
That's true. It's true. Once it becomes aroused, it's basically like the Thanos snap.
Yeah. Oh my.
Oh my. Yeah.
Man. So the other thing I checked out was Undertaker was on Rogan this week.
Yeah, I saw that on Instagram.
Yeah,
I haven't listened to it because I'm a glutton for punishment. Listen to my podcast in order,
right?
And I'm still basically on Christmas episodes.
Yeah, that's fair. I gave up on Rogan a long time ago because honestly, I think he's gone off the deep end. But and I think he's kind of become I don't know. I think he's
a character of himself.
I think he's become kind of toxic with certain things too. Like I think he's pushed some bullshit about coronavirus and different stuff that he's not helped the cause. Like I feel like he's fell too far into the some of the conspiracy theory bullshit,
Right.
So oddly enough, I was talking with Fluffy Bunny Ash the other night. She asked me if I'd listened to this episode yet, and she was saying those exact things about him, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty much why I quit listening to him.
Can I just go on record and say that I miss Fluffy Bunny Ash's Q to W responses?
Yes, you are very much allowed to say that.
Yeah, I hope she listens, and I'm just saying I miss you.
I'll pass that on to her, that she should at least answer the question. Yeah.
Yeah. Like just say Tony misses you deeply.
I will. The deeply is what's the best part.
Deeply,
of course.
Tony misses you, comma. Deeply.
Right. All right. Gotcha. Yeah. I just want to make sure I got that down right.
Yeah.
So I've listened to most of it. I think there's about like 20 or so minutes left. And, there's some really interesting stuff in there, which I didn't know about The Undertaker, which is like the tendons in his right shoulder basically are gone. Like the one
are they undead?
Yes. No, they're dead. The one that allows you to like raise your arm up above your head, basically he doesn't have that ligament or whatever there anymore. And when he went to the doctor, he ended up going to, the scariest words in all of sports, Dr. James Andrews. When he went to him, Andrews was like, so you can raise your arm? And he goes, yeah, he has him raise it and move it around. And he's like, you shouldn't be able to do that because you don't have the ligament that allows you to do that. So somehow you've taught yourself to do that without the ligament that dictates that you can do that.
Yeah, it's the power of the urn. Hello.
Right. So,
Jesus.
So, but over the years, like I guess later he had a surgery where there's a ligament in the back of your shoulder that basically they detached it and moved it to where now it kind of goes over his shoulder somehow, and now that ligament is doing double duty in his shoulder.
Mm.
And he was like, he's like, I'm nowhere near as strong as I used to be. He's like, but I'm like twice as strong as I was. So I was like, wow, that's an amazing advancement in science there.
Right.
But it was kind of also interesting listening to him talking about like the surgeries he's had on his hips. He didn't have the one where they literally, like cut your whole hip bone off, and all this. They had one where they basically they put a titanium cap on it and I forgot, he describes it a lot in the podcast, and basically it's one they haven't been doing very long, but if he had the full-on hip replacement, he wouldn't have been able to continue his career.
Mm.
So he would have been done years ago.
Right.
But by having these other ones done, he's been able to continue, doing what he does. So I was like, oh, that's
they're
cool.
They're far more metal.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But, they talk about some of the stuff, and, he talks about how in his first match he was a little too stiff, and Bruiser Brody basically, kicked his ass left and right around the ring for the rest of the match, because you gotta teach the young guys to, like, hey, we're supposed to make it look like it hurts. It's not really supposed to hurt most of the time.
Yeah. But now it's going to hurt, you son of a bitch.
But now it's going to hurt. Exactly.
Yeah.
But he told some good stories on there I hadn't heard before. But it was funny. I was listening to Marty and Sarah Loves Wrestling, and Marty was talking about how he felt a little like The Undertaker was pulling a Hulk Hogan. And Hogan has done various interviews where he's telling stories that other people are like, that never happened. Or, no, here's what really happened.
In other news, called reality.
Right. But then there's elements of it that I really wish I could have just skipped past. Like, they talk about hunting, which I don't have any interest in listening to. They talk about, The Undertaker has to pull the, and he's caught a lot of shit for saying that basically the wrestlers now are, soft. That, guys in his era were men,
Do you think when The Undertaker drops a deer, he does that like he jumps on top of it, does the eyes roll back and the tongue out?
God, I hope so. I will say at least he's talking about like his hunting. He's a bow hunter. So,
right.
I was like, well, at least there's that.
I figured just chokeslam the thing.
Yeah. No.
Just tombstones it.
Yikes. He did tell an interesting tidbit on the tombstone because Rogan asked him, how do you do the tombstone without hurting someone?
Yeah.
And he said that basically the key to it is, you have to be strong enough to support the other person, of course. And, how you have them upside down, right as your knees are bending and you're going to hit the mat, you pull them up. So that
makes sense.
Literally your legs become shock absorbers, and ideally their head doesn't even touch the mat,
Right.
Which makes sense why...
That's a lot of trust for the other guy.
It is. But if you look at his record, he never really hurt anybody, Yeah. So he knew what he was doing. Well, also, if you notice, a lot of the tombstones he delivered, that dude's head is a good foot and a half off the ground, But you have to, because, like he said, they're always in a position to where literally they're like 2 inches away from a catastrophic event, Yeah. So, But yeah, he had to go through his old man rant of, why, everyone's entitled now and how he hopes all the people moving from California to Texas, leave their values at the door, and basically he might as well have just said, I don't want liberals here, because that's basically the vibe he's giving off,
Everyone gets a championship belt now.
Yeah, basically he was doing that. The guys when I was back, they were real men. They carried guns and knives and settled things. And these guys now, you go in the back and they're playing video games, and it's like, yeah, and also less of them are dying of drug overdoses and, like...
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
I play video games and carry a knife. What does that make me?
Half of a man?
Yes!
I don't know. I'd have to look at the maths on that. But
yeah.
I don't know. It's like part of it was just like, because I told you before where I'm like, I want to hear all the Undertaker interviews. Well, this one put me in a place where I was like, yeah, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. He's like Fluffy Bunny Ash said, she's, basically the Undertaker's just going to destroy all of the mystique he built up, basically. And she's right.
He is.
He totally is. I mean, he deserves to because he kept he protected the business for a long time. But on the other hand, now it's kind of like, I don't want to hear him come out and be like ultra conservative, grumpy old man where millennials are entitled and blah, blah, get off my property kind of, don't be that guy.
See, the other guy I could think of that destroyed the mystique but did it in a good way is Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
Because you were like, this dude's a gangster, he's a murderer. And then you're like, what the fuck? He's cooking with Martha Stewart. But now everyone's like, oh, Snoop Dogg's awesome.
Yeah.
He has a cookbook. He hangs out with Martha Stewart. This shit's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
It sounds like if Undertaker's going the other way.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing is I honestly am starting to think that the more and more interviews he does, the less and less I'm liking him.
Yeah, like can't you just be the dead man again, the American badass?
Well, the other thing on it is like, can't you just like Rogan didn't even like. They talked about people moving to Texas, but he didn't even pull like Rogan wasn't like, yeah, those fucking liberals and derp. But he, Undertaker starts talking about like taxes and. I don't know. I was just like, dude, don't be this guy. Like just go be a good dude and just talk about the product and how much you love the product. Like don't shit on the guys who came after you. What's funny, and Marty and Sarah Love Wrestling pointed this out, was he was talking about how the Undertaker was like, I could keep doing these matches, the cinematic type matches, and he's like, but there's all these young guys that are coming up, and I don't think it'd be fair to take spots from them. And Marty's going into like, well, yeah, but he's like, you and Shawn Michaels had 2 WrestleManias back to back, then you had 2 in a row with Triple H. He's like, all those spots could have went to younger guys you could have helped put over. And if Shawn Michaels isn't against Undertaker, he's facing someone else, so you could put him against a younger guy, and then Triple H against the younger guy, and because Undertaker makes a comment about how there was him and The Rock and Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and then there was basically nobody because all those guys kind of aged out, and it was like, well, whose fault is that? You guys kept gobbling up all the main events,
I mean, yeah, the Attitude Era or whatever.
Yeah,
sure. I mean, I'm not, I don't watch wrestling now, but I know there's clearly guys that do it.
Yeah. But, it's funny, though, because Marty made a great point, I thought. He was talking about, like, Undertaker's, like, shitting on the product, and he goes, Stone Cold still talks about how he watches the product, what he loves about the product, and instead of being, like, overly critical about it, he's talking about what he thinks is good about it. Like who's doing a good job, all this kind of stuff. And it was like, yeah, that's what it comes down to is you have Undertaker, who's that cranky old guy who basically, you hear stories about like the super old timey wrestlers that were like, they wouldn't let you into the business unless you already knew someone in the business,
Right.
And now you got guys who are literally, they're coming out of college with no knowledge of wrestling whatsoever, but they're freak athletes, but they're not freak athletes enough to make the NFL.
Right.
So the WWE gets a hold of them or some wrestling promotion, whatever, trains them, and then all of a sudden now they can become, a freak athlete and whatever it is they're doing there. And yeah, it's I don't know. I'm gonna listen to the end of it, but I'm just it's kind of disappointing because it really does feel like I said, it's just disappointing because he just feels. I don't know how to word it. It's
Gran
just,
Torino.
Yeah, really. He does. You know what it is? He sounds like a dinosaur. That's what he sounds like.
Like roaring and stuff? That's cool.
I wish. Like the ones on my shirt? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really see it. There you go.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah. It says bodacious period underneath it.
Yeah, I've actually seen that shirt online.
Yeah.
It's like, this is an awesome shirt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got a T-Rex with a fanny pack on. I mean, you can't go wrong.
I mean, it's fucking dope.
Right. But yeah, that's
it's
what it
funny
comes.
Because old people wear fanny packs. Too.
Right. Exactly. Well, old wrestlers especially.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
I know.
I'd get a fanny pack.
I know.
I've been touting Beer Fest fanny packs for years.
I know
now.
you have, and I've been in support of Beer Fest fanny packs because they make sense.
It makes sense.
But yeah, like I say, he just comes across like a real dinosaur in this one, and I was like, like I don't.
Like in my day.
Yeah.
In my day.
Yeah, that's kind.
I'll tell you what, Joe Rogan, we used to hit women. Like, whoa,
yeah.
Whoa.
Well, that's the thing when he talks about how these guys now are soft and stuff, and how things were different in his day, and it was like, yeah, we've heard some of the stories about how guys were hazed like crazy in the locker rooms, how they had the wrestlers' court to where guys would do something minor, like they wouldn't shake the hand of somebody, and all of a sudden they'd be brought up to where these guys thought they were going to get the shit kicked out of them just because they missed shaking the hand of a veteran somewhere. It's like, come on, that's not being a man. That's not being a man. That's being an asshole.
Yeah, that's some sort of like weird code that
exactly
probably no one lives by anymore.
No, none of the guys in the locker room really live by that anymore. The guys and the women, they don't go out getting drunk all the time. A lot of them, you listen to them on podcasts and they're like, yeah, after the event, they're like, man, I've been on I get up, I got to get my workout in. I have to be at TV by like noon. We're there until, 11, 12 at night. Then, I get back to the room and I'm going to, I eat and I go to bed to get up to do it all over again,
I imagine most of the current like superstars are probably sober.
Yeah, or at least sober.
Like when we were watching, and it was like, time to get our bump of coke.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, half those guys. Some of those guys went to the ring drunk.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, that's happened in our era and stuff too. Like Jeff Hardy did that. He missed a pay-per-view because he was off his ass against Sting for the heavyweight championship in TNA.
Whoops.
And Hardy had shown up a few times to other things drunk, and but again, he's an alcoholic. He's hopefully clean now, but you're right. That era and before that's what a lot of them did. You don't hear that so much now. Like when you hear them on podcasts and stuff, or you watch them on the network, will have different things, and you can tell they're very much like Christian and Edge talked about how they used to go back to their rooms and read. Yeah, everybody else was, like, hey, let's go get some food or let's do this. And they're like, we're going to pick something up and then go back and read. It's like,
bro, I got Tale of Two Cities. I'm halfway through.
Yeah, right. Like, I'm going to just grab some.
What?
I'm going to grab a Chipotle burrito and head back to the room, man. I got to see how this ends.
Yeah, bro. Chapter 18. I'm in the middle of it.
Right. So
Ben Law's like, I'm just gonna go kill my family.
Oh, that's
terrible.
God damn it, Chris. Boo. Terrible. Speaking of WWE though, there was big news came out of WWE today. They signed an agreement with NBC to where basically the WWE network is moving to Peacock.
Really?
Yeah, the whole gimmick's moving, and it sounds like basically if you have the WWE network, you'll need to have Peacock exclusive, which is $4.99 a month with commercials, or $10 a month without commercials. And the network was WWE network's $10 a month. So, but I guess they're going to migrate everybody to Peacock Premium. And then all of the stuff will be there. It sounds like all the pay-per-views, everything, like nothing's going to change as far as that goes. So you'll still get all that stuff, but you can do it. Like if you can choke down commercials, it'll be $4.99. Otherwise,
all I want to hear is saxophone music and hear Saturday Night Raw with cast members. No, I don't know any wrestlers right now, but like Triple H, and he's like, hey, he's on the streets of New York.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Musical guest, Nickelback. What?
Well, you're right, because WWE does have a a habit of picking some terrible music acts. So yeah,
it'd be so great that Saturday Night Raw
does feel like a move they would do.
But they got to have what was that announcer's name? Fucking Herb Herbison or something, whatever his name was.
Are you thinking of like the Fink?
No, from Saturday Night Live.
Oh, that guy's dead.
Whatever, fuck him, bring him back. Come on, Undertaker, where you at?
I know who you mean, but I can't think of the guy's name. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. That would be great, though, if you could have him do it. But unfortunately, yeah. Much like the Fink, actually.
Featuring. Be great.
Yep. But, this is a really interesting move. This is in the U.S. only, apparently. So in other countries, things will...
fuck the other countries.
Well, no. In the other
USA.
countries, things will stay the same. You know what? What? So it's like, it was funny because I know like Peacock is free, and then I know there's the premium, which I don't know what the difference between their free and premium is. If premium has commercials still. So,
Ryan,
what?
I'll tell you.
All right.
Free's free. Premium, you pay for it.
Oh, all right. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Wait, you're sure you don't pay for free?
I mean, you might, but it seems like a foolish move.
All right. I'll have to talk to my accountant about this.
Yes.
I think he's been charging me for the free. No. He said, no, there's a convenience fee. I swear. It's not free. It's just free.
Yeah. It's free, but I have to charge you a convenience fee.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, right.
Oh, Ticketmaster rules.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. Wait.
Yeah.
So,
assholes.
Yeah. I was just looking here to see if it tells, like, when it's going to happen. All right. Peacock will launch the WWE Network on March 18th. And... the other question, like I saw people asking, like they were curious if like everything is gonna like transition, and it sounds like they're just straight up rolling the WWE Network into Peacock. So
that seems weird. I don't like the name Peacock.
I'll bet money the only reason that Vince McMahon chose Peacock is because it gives him the chance to say the word cock a bunch.
You're probably
during
right.
Press conferences, you know.
Yeah.
It's like,
we're going to the Cock Network.
Yeah. It's like, no, sir,
Peacock,
it's Peacock, yeah. It's like, yeah, P comes from my cock.
Yeah, we're going to that big, veiny streaming service.
It's like, sir, actually, it's based off the animal, the peacock. The bird.
Yeah. Fuck like an animal. Whoa, Vince.
Whoa.
Easy.
Whoa.
You're 95. Yeah, Blue Chew, baby. Vince is always ready for action.
Oh, God. I'm not going to lie. I really and truly think that Vince McMahon needs to do a Blue Chew commercial. All right, so... I thought... I was looking here... this is on Variety, and I don't see the number, but I thought I read earlier this deal is basically worth like $1 billion.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. A huge bump for Peacock.
Sounds like a House Hunter budget.
Yeah, because Peacock has not been doing great, apparently, which is weird because The Office is there.
Yeah, but here's why Peacock's not doing great. We don't need 85 streaming services, and we're getting to that.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, even me, I'm like looking at it, I'm like, how many goddamn different streams of information do I need coming into my Fire TV?
That was the very first thought I had when I read this today. Was like, oh, God, I got to download another one. And it's like, oh, wait, well, I won't have to have the WWE Network app anymore.
Right, but still. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Because I'll be honest, I keep seeing ads for that. I don't know if you've seen for the TV show called Snowpiercer. It's based off the movie.
Oh, yeah, I've seen, like, just pop-ups and shit.
Yeah, and I'm kind of interested in the show, but then I was like, well, where can I watch it? And it's like, well, it's on Amazon. It's like, well, I don't have Amazon, so that's right out. And it's like, well, is there any... Right. And I was like, oh, well, TNT has it on their app. And it's like, man... But then I was like, well, I do kind of want to watch AEW. That's on TNT's app, so at least I have another reason, you know, but it's still like, I don't want to download more stupid TV-type watching apps, You know, it's annoying.
Sure you do.
No, I don't.
Sure you do.
No. And it's like CBS is rebranding theirs to the Paramount Network, I think, very soon. And they're supposed to be adding a whole bunch of other stuff to it that, you know, to what's already there. So I don't know, but I'm with you.
Yeah.
I said this long ago when we first talked about this, how I was very much like, we're going to get to a point, it's going to be cable. Then everyone's going to go, why can't I get everything in one place? And it's like, well, you used to be able to, but you bitched because you know, of what it cost.
Yeah, but now you're paying more for 14 different fucking apps.
Yep, and the internet you still have to pay for.
Yeah, because, you know, like Netflix recently is like, hey, guys, our rates are going up. For the longest time,
yep,
I'd get these emails. Hey, rates are going up, but we grandfathered you in.
Yeah,
You're
me
good.
too. Yeah, I'm finally, that's gone.
Yeah, now they're like, you know what? I don't tell you.
Go fuck
and
yourself.
It's like
yeah.
It's like if XM, when they charge me something like $20 a month, I'm like, I'm canceling. They're like, no, bro. $5 a month.
Yeah.
Stay with us. I'm like, all right.
Which is what happened.
You do that Netflix is going to be like, bye. We got plenty of people.
Yeah, they don't care. You know? CBS did that with me, remember, a couple months ago where they were like, and I was like, I'm done with you. And they were like, wait. How about we keep, you know, how about free?
Like,
and I was like,
bro, what's up your dick?
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, all right.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll stick around for a little bit.
Well, I mean, all right, CBS. I'll be here long enough, man.
Yeah, all right.
We'll throw some Soul Stone all over you.
Yeah.
Or no, Robo Loads.
Robo Loads, yeah. So,
Robo Loads.
All right, so I have a couple other things here. Do you have any other stuff, or because we're running long, but I really want to talk about this other stuff.
I do not. All I have is the QW stuff pulled up now.
All right. Well, this one I'll do real quick. This year's Super Bowl, Anheuser-Busch has pulled. There's going to be no Budweiser ads, no Coke ads, and no Pepsi. Although Pepsi's sponsoring the halftime show, so there's literally going to be 20 minutes of now the Pepsi halftime show presented by Pepsi.
Yeah.
Pepsi. Here's the weekend.
The Pepsi checkoff session.
Yeah. So it will be 20 minutes of a Pepsi commercial, but they won't have any.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah. Honestly.
Did you see though what Budweiser is doing with the money instead? I love this at least.
It's going to COVID stuff.
Yeah,
right? Like vaccines or whatever.
To promote vaccine commercials. Yeah.
Yeah, which is fine. I totally get it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like, it's weird.
But I want to see the horses. Now, what they need to do is show the horses bringing vaccines to a hospital instead of Budweiser.
Yes, that would be cool.
Because they did commercials. Remember when Budweiser gave a bunch of like canned water to like hurricane victims and different stuff to, so it was clean water. And they did a commercial for that. So that's what they should do with this. They should have put Clydesdales pulling vaccines into a clinic.
You don't have to call Bud Light canned water. We all know.
I was being nice.
Oh, okay, all right.
This time.
Yeah, you're right. Or be like, what's up?
Yeah.
I just got my vaccine. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
What's up? Me too. Yeah. Yeah.
Or like a guy getting his vaccine and it's like, real American here.
Right? I think they're missing an opportunity here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's plenty they could do.
Yeah. I think they're missing out on a good opportunity
but whatever.
here.
I mean, they're just going to give that money to vaccine stuff. Whatever.
Yeah.
They can make cool ads.
I know. They could have done both, really. They could have made a cool ad that puts their brand out there and also promotes vaccine getting, all at the same time.
True.
They couldn't hit,
I mean, as much as I douche on Budweiser, their ads are usually pretty great.
Yeah. Well, and,
but I mean, it's going to be a weird Super Bowl with these major companies. They'll always have you're like, oh man, the ad this year is going to be killer because they got whatever doing something.
Yeah. Well, they said here it's been 37 years since there's been a Super Bowl without a Budweiser commercial.
What I wonder now is like with the New Year's Eve fucking hoedown, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Like took up all that weird ad space that no one wanted.
Yeah.
Who's gonna like take over this ad space?
Yeah.
It's just because Budweiser's like, we're not doing it. Other companies are like, well, we are.
Yeah. Yeah. Good question. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see, but I'm curious too, because
that's what I want to know.
I'm also wondering,
is
like,
the service going to be down there? Like,
yeah, like if they're not going to have ads during the Super Bowl, are they going to like bookend the Super Bowl? Like just put ads before and after kind of a thing or whatever. Or also, a lot of the commercials now come out like weeks before the Super Bowl. Or not weeks, but like days,
lame.
A week before or something. So it's like, so we've already seen them by then,
Yeah, that shit's lame out here. That's good, man.
But, real quick, going back to...
whatever.
What? Go ahead.
I'm about ready to undertake an old man rant.
Yeah.
About people that can't wait for ads.
Yeah. Well, they put them on just regular TV beforehand now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like back in my day,
yeah,
were men. We waited for the ads. God damn it.
So true. All right. So Microsoft announced that Xbox Live prices are going up. Did you see a few months ago they pulled off the year Xbox Live at the cheaper price, and at that point everybody assumed the price was going to go up because everyone seems to think that they're doing it to basically try to force people into the Games Pass.
I could be wrong, but I thought people fucking raged about it, and they rescinded what they were doing.
Oh, did they? Okay.
I believe so.
I don't understand it because, like, literally, like, the Games Pass is such a good value that unless you're like me with a data cap, I don't know why you wouldn't just get that,
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it's so, like I said, it's such a good deal. And with them, if they get, it's not completely official the deal with Bethesda, but, going forward, if there's Bethesda games day one on the Games Pass.
Yeah, why wouldn't you, right?
Yeah, But
yeah, I don't know.
I got one more video game thing here, which I don't know if you saw that I thought you'd be interested in, which did you see there's a Knights of the Old Republic 3 reportedly in development?
Well, no, I did not. And now I need some alone time, so I'm going to just shut the camera off.
Apparently it's not, or it's being developed outside of EA. And I'm trying to think or look to see. BioWare.
I did see a confirmed open world Star Wars game. If that's if it's an open world Knights of the Old Republic, woo!
I don't think it is. Man. That's the thing. I think they're separate.
Need some Blue Chew just to get by. Damn.
I don't think you'll need the Blue Chew. I feel like you just on your own.
You are actually 100% correct.
Yeah. You'll be good for a while with that one. Like you'll probably have to call a doctor.
Probably be like, bro, it's been 4 hours. He's like, wait, Knights of the Old Republic 3? Like, yeah, it's good. You'll be all right.
Yeah, it's perfectly normal.
He's like, me too, actually.
Yeah. But here's a good way maybe to get rid of it. No, I'm kidding. So there's a rumor that, I don't know if you knew this or not, but Batman the Animated Series, the whole run is on HBO Max now.
Yep, that I'm aware of.
And Batman Beyond is on there, and so that's definitely something to tighten one's pants. So if you have HBO Max and you haven't seen this, there's something wrong with you. You should be going and watching this right now.
Yeah, exactly. Just think about how sad you are as a human, and then watch it. And you'll be better.
But there's rumor that there's going to be a sequel in development, and I don't know how I feel.
Batman Animated Series?
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that.
Series Part 2?
I guess. I don't
even understand it.
I'm really scared about that.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Because it's hard to recapture nostalgia, as we've said many a time on this show. I'm not against the sequel concept, but that show was just perfect for the 90s. I don't know if it's going to ring the same way. New episodes will ring the same way, I
don't like it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
I'm a little iffy about it.
If you're going to make a new Batman series, just make a new Batman.
Yes.
Don't call it the sequel. Because then it's like, okay, this is its own entity.
Yeah.
You call it the sequel, you're piggybacking off of this amazing shit.
Yeah.
And if it's not good, we're all going to shit on it.
It's like the Dark Knight Returns. Yeah, the Dark Knight Returns comic.
Yes.
The when they did the sequel to that, and it was just a hot garbage, and then they did another sequel,
trash.
And the next sequel was garbage too. I did not care for it, and
I I would rather floss till my gums bleed and then swish with AIDS blood.
Wow, that seems aggressive. I don't know why you need to floss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because flossing's good for you.
Oh, okay. You're right. I'm waiting till next year to find out. Remember from a few episodes ago, it's my New Year's resolution for next year.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Just going to let it all build up this year.
Yeah, exactly. Get that gingivitis going.
Oh, man. Gross. I'm going to have like an extra set of teeth. My teeth
Get
will have
tender gums.
I was going to say my teeth will have an exoskeleton.
Yeah, well, dude, Iron Man teeth, sick.
Sweet. Yeah.
Is that an arc reactor or a nugget of tartar?
Impenetrable. Oh, man. Yeah, I read that, though, earlier today or yesterday, and I was like, I don't know about this. Like, there's so many questions I would have, which is, are you going to have everybody back? Are you going to, and I mean, like Bruce, Tim, and, oh my God.
I figured your question would be why.
Well, that too, but, well, the why is easy because everybody wants more of it, but also, I don't know, man. I think it's great as it is, and I'm with you. I just rather, hey, let's just launch a new Batman series and make it awesome.
Yeah. How about you leave the old stuff alone and you move forward?
Yeah. But, like I said,
old man Undertaker rant time.
The only other way,
back in my day,
the only way, like I said, I'd be a little more comfortable if this is true, if everybody is back, the creative teams and the voice talent and all that stuff.
I agree.
Because, if you're giving me new voice talents, I'm not sure that I want to be part of this.
Exactly.
So,
how about you all just piss off?
Fair enough. All right, so that's all the stuffs I got. So, let's do a Q of the W.
Oh, shit, son. I don't have sound effects because I'm using my phone to Skype because my internet is trash. Actually,
fair.
It's good internet normally, but whatever.
Yeah.
So, anywho, we asked you last week, what could you give a 30-minute presentation on with absolutely no preparation?
Right.
We actually got a decent amount of answers here on the old face page.
All right.
Julie Stewart, I can only imagine she's with your brother there.
Yeah, David's wife, my sister-in-law. Yep.
Your sister-in-law there.
Yep.
She says the Flint water crisis.
Oh, wow. All right.
I'm not sure why she knows that, but apparently she knows that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Top fan, Big Dev.
He's back.
Answering this week. He says bourbon and whiskey.
Yeah. That I can believe that. Yeah.
Which, we in theory you can listen to coming up sometime soon.
Oh yeah, I actually forgot to address that earlier because of my, shitty braining this week. I completely blanked on posting that.
People are used to us.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
So I will try to make sure it's up this week, probably Thursday.
Valerie, she says procrastinating, self-sabotage, anything about the digestive process, random facts, and song lyrics.
I like the first two topics together are very, very strange. Procrastination and then, digestive stuff.
Self-sabotage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
I mean, listen, I've self-sabotaged, which has led to some digestive stress before.
There you go. Our old buddy Jason Morrow, he says, how to prepare a 30-minute presentation. Very meta.
I love that because I remember telling my dad years ago that I just wanted to start a business on how to, or do seminars on how to give seminars.
Yeah.
And I like that idea because I think it's strong. It's a good choice.
And then our other pal, Jason Brigger, he says wrestling, which I kind of feel like maybe we should invite him on the show and have wrestling chat.
Nah.
I mean, if he's into wrestling,
I feel like I got it covered. No,
I'm just saying.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
I know they record tomorrow. I just might randomly call them just to be an asshole.
To talk wrestling. Gotcha.
I can't talk wrestling like you can talk wrestling, man.
Well, you can talk wrestling.
That's what I got on. Barely.
I didn't say
by
well.
Making dick jokes. That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
Let me flip over to the Instagram.
What you do is if you jump on there and they start talking wrestling, just slip into that you're the Undertaker and keep making comments within what I've told you about that podcast.
Yeah, like semi-racist comments.
Well, he didn't know. I wouldn't say that, but, you know.
I'm just thinking Gran Torino.
Yeah. No, like, you know. But definitely, you know, you got to do the back in my day and when men were men kind of comments.
Yeah, we're men. We used to stab bitches.
Yeah.
I'd get home and dinner was cold. Ooh, boy, let me tell you.
I'd get to cooking.
So on Instagram, good old Casey Pierce, the lovely and talented Casey Pierce.
Yeah.
She says indie comics and intermittent fasting.
Fair enough.
But that's all I got on my end for the QW answers, my guy.
I'm disappointed. Her answer should be cast iron skillet cooking, since she's
and Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah. Good shit.
I wouldn't mind talking to her again too. She was a good talk.
Fair enough. Agreed, sir. Agreed. All right, let's see. What do I have here? Here it is. I have an answer from Cheeto Bandito.
The lovely and talented Cheeto Bandito in the same category as Casey Pierce.
Lovely and talented?
Lovely and talented.
All right. He says, sorry I didn't answer the Bender question. Peanut butter Bender didn't seem to be an option, although it is now. Because can you picture just like all you could bend is peanut butter?
That seems like a shitty skill to have.
Especially since it's all in jars and stuff, you know.
It's like that seems pretty bendable already.
Yeah. I mean, it might not be terrible, though. Think about it this way, right? You know, somebody's, you know, just sassing you. You just load their mouth with peanut butter. It'd be hard for them to talk, you know?
That's true.
Or you could just kill them with peanut butter or whatever.
Plus, think of all those peanut allergy kids. It's over.
Well, if you want to be a jerk, yeah, you know. All right, so.
Well, I mean, obviously.
Yeah. He says, 30-minute presentation with no prep? Sure. Let's talk food. I could easily give a speech on types of food and similarities between foods of different regions. Or if we had access to things, just no preparing in advance, let's cook something from beginning to end in 30 minutes. Maybe pasta and sauce and a nice salad. Was he Rachel Ray now? Jeez.
Yeah, Jesus. What is this, 30-minute meals? What the fuck? EVOO? Come on
now. He says, Hobie answer, I could probably
get your small titties and get out of here.
Wow. Well, at least you said he had small titties.
It's true.
Says, Hobie answer, I could probably geek out on nerd/geek culture for 30 minutes pretty easily. Second Hobie answer, are we drinking? Because shit, son, I'll talk about whatever the hell you want for 30 minutes. Fuck, even if you don't want.
I invited him to the last whiskey session.
That's accurate.
Sure, he had to celebrate his gal's birthday. Whatever,
He could have brought her on, too.
Back in my day, women didn't have birthdays. They had toilet brushes.
Oh, no. No, that's terrible. What better gift
I
could...
don't know. Whatever the Undertaker would say.
What better gift could he have given her than the gift of us? And I don't mean that in a wop. I don't mean that in a...
Yeah, that sounds a little weird.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't mean that in like an Eiffel Tower kind of way. I just meant that in like a, you know,
right?
Yeah.
You ever had a salty language high five?
Yeah.
Like, wait, what?
So there you go.
Back in my day, the paper and a cocktail was ready for me. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
You didn't have birthday cakes.
Oh, boy.
You had my pants to iron.
I mean, he didn't go that far. I mean, you know, he just kept it to, you know, men being men. Like, you're going a little further than he went with it.
But it's too much fun not to go there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
Back in my day, their votes didn't count. Like, Undertaker, bro!
Yeah. He's like, no, I'm just old.
I'm just old.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
Like, if she had a vagine, couldn't even get a bank account.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Like, oh, we thought you were being misogynistic. You're just telling the truth. Okay, sorry.
Like, holy shit. Yeah, well,
right.
He's right. Damn.
Right. Okay. Like, yeah, these young guys don't know anything about it.
They have no idea.
Like,
Back
actually,
in my day, our game cartridges didn't have save slots. You just had to keep playing.
If mom turned the game off, you were fucked.
Back in my day, you had to write down a 20-digit code.
Oh, God.
And hope it worked.
Yeah. Every time you went to play, you had to put that damn code in, too.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ. What an annoying thing.
The worst. It's the worst.
Just because they didn't want people stealing. Pfft. Like it stopped us. I mean,
Yep.
them. I, of course, never stole.
Them, yeah.
Yeah.
No, of course not.
I would never do such things.
Upstanding citizen.
Right.
I was a privateer, not a pirate.
Right, exactly. All right. You were a mouseketeer.
Fuck yeah, it was.
Anyway, so pick a number 1 through 15.
Oh, shit. Let's go with 13. Lucky number 13.
Lucky number 13. Okay.
You betcha.
All right. What's the most common lie you tell?
The most kind of lie that I tell.
Yeah.
That my day is going well.
I think that's probably the going to be the prevailing answer, right? Like the I'm fine situation.
Yeah, because that's pretty much like, oh, hey, how you doing today? I'm great.
Yeah.
And, meanwhile, you're like, I want to kill everybody.
Right. Yeah. On the inside, it's just you sitting, knees pulled up to your chest, one cloud over you, and it's just pouring.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That's probably on it. That's probably it. How you doing today? I'm great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, man, you never have a bad day. Every day I talk to you, it's great. Like, sure is.
Yep, sure is,
Yep.
buddy.
Yep. 10 minutes later, they walk by you in your van. You're just sobbing at the steering wheel.
Yeah, exactly. Just sitting in the break room.
Yep.
Face buried in a bag of Tostitos.
Yep.
Like, you all right? I'm fine.
Yeah. Like, bro, if you're gonna cry over the Tostitos, at least don't grab the scoops. You might drown.
It's true.
Yeah.
Scoops are pretty liquid intense.
That's right. Yeah. I that's the thing. I think that's really like mine too. Is when people ask how are you doing, and I'll just I'm good. It's just so much easier. Also, there's that whole thing in my head to where like depression will be like they don't want to hear how you are.
Like, do you really want to know?
Yeah. That's the good answer right there. Are you sure how much time you got,
Yeah. Here, settle down. Like, just take a sit. Here's some warm tea.
Yep.
Get ready for a story.
Right, exactly.
Like, it all starts with robo-loads. What? Wait, what? Did you say robo-loads?
All good stories start with robo-loads.
Bear with me.
Yeah. Like, I don't know that I want to. What's... Oh, man. So, yeah, that, like I said, I think this is the one that one's probably the prevailing answer. I was trying to think of something else, like, is kind of like the Hobie answer on that one. Like something else. I think the other one would be is, like, it's good, like, for various times when, like, people cook for you and you're just like, it's all right or whatever. And you're just like, oh, yeah, it's good, which can obviously backfire on you into every time you're around the person. They're like, oh, I made the Jell-O that you love.
Like, oh, do you mean the one with the suspended meat particles?
Yes, the pimento,
Yeah,
the pimento loaf.
Yeah, it's a nice lime Jell-O pimento loaf chunks. Oh, yeah, just like fucking Mama used to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is good.
Back in my day, we couldn't afford pimento loaf.
That's right. Back in my day, that's all we ate was pimento loaf. When men were men.
Men were men. That's all we had was day-old pimento loaf.
Yeah. We didn't have fancy turkey.
Yeah, you and your boar's head smokehouse turkey, that's extra delicious. We didn't have that.
Yeah.
We ate Eskimar Bologna.
And we loved it.
We loved it.
We hunted it ourselves.
Yeah, I was out on the prairie taking down wild Bologna.
That sounds very lewd. Taking down wild bologna, like were you squealing? like
holy shit!
Like I think I seen a movie about that once.
Like Jesus, man. Isn't that how Sean Penn's dad died or whatever?
Whoa.
Taking down wild bologna out in the wild.
I think that's how a lot of people died.
Yeah.
That's
how you get throat cancer.
You can't mess with that wild bologna, man.
Jesus Christ. That was my favorite thing. Like, yeah, eating too much pussy. Like, whoa.
There is some truth to it, though. I've seen that pop up different times, that there is, like, you have a higher likelihood of getting certain cancers if you do oral more frequently. So it's like, but it's like, that's, not nobody. I mean, most people are like...
It's a noble death.
Yeah, right.
It's a warrior's death.
Yeah, that's right. You go to Valhalla for that one, for sure.
Odin welcomes you with a mug of mead.
Right. Yeah, you go to hug him, and he's like, whoa, slow down. like...
Yeah, like, as long as don't kiss me, hey, the high five.
Right. Wait, Odin, is that how you lost the eye?
Hey, you have no idea, bro.
Yeah. No, that's from an enemy trying to skull fuck me. Whoa.
Like, damn, wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, that turned quick. Hey, jeez.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dear Penthouse. Send the Raven or something.
Dear Penthouse. Can you imagine the letter of his enemy,
I can't believe it happened to me.
Yeah. In the same month, Odin writes in, like, finally can cross this off my list.
Yeah.
Yikes. Ah, man. All right. Well, there you go. That's our Q the W for the week. What's the most common lie that you tell?
Yeah, perfect.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
And head over to saltylanguage.com, click all the links, do the things, show notes, whatever. You've heard this a million times. You can check out the network that we're part of, but Tony doesn't have the sound drop, so.
No, hold on, if you give me 1 second.
That's too long.
Just unplug this.
Entertainment. So there you go. No, it was Tangent Bound Network. Just kidding. So go check out the other shows on that network, and of course, tell Mark.
Miss you, Mark.
Yeah, tell Mark that Tony misses him and wants the snuggles.
So, not only do I miss Mark, I miss Fluffy Buddy Ash.
Right.
What the hell's going on here in this new year?
Right. I forgot what I was supposed to tell her already.
I miss her, deeply.
Deeply, right. That's the word I forgot. All right.
Comma.
Yeah, I remembered the comma. I just couldn't remember what else was there. So, yeah. And you don't want to leave that to my imagination because it'll be something strange then.
Yeah, you might put a semicolon or something in there.
Oh, I'll put a semicolon. I fucks with a semicolon.
Fuck, bro.
Like, that's not
Back
even
in my day, all we had was semicolons. We didn't shit properly. God damn it, Undertaker.
This is from all the steak we ate.
Get out of here, you.
Oh, jeez. Anyway, if you want to contact us on the socials, you can find the show on Twitter at salty_language. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Stunami.
You can find me on Twitter at Monotony, and you can find me on Instagram as The Monotony.
Yeah.
And, Salty Language is basically on all the socials as Salty Language mostly.
Yeah.
Sometimes Salty Language Pod. Just go to the website, though. saltylanguage.com. It's all there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So there you go. So until next week, have beer, you'll be fine.
Stay salty.
And remember, all good stories start with Roboload.
Is it a viscous Roboload?
I don't know.
What's that, like farm oil, like Rotella or whatever? Is that what that is?
That sounds like an Italian dish.
It does, doesn't
like
it?
a pasta.
That's how he sold Scarlet Witch. He's like, hey, you want some Rotella?
Oh, boy, do I.
And she ends up just getting Roboload all over.
Yeah. Oh, my.